Hi, beautiful people. I hope that you're having an amazing Tuesday. Okay, before I get into my conversation, welcome to my channel if you are new. Okay, I am so close to 2 years in sobriety, and I have roughly about 723 days to be exact, and we are getting there. Now, with that being said, I've been making changes in my life. I thank you, 504 girl. I've been making a lot of changes in my life and doing a lot of things to help better and improve my life since I've been sober and in recovery. It is a full time, it's a lot to it. And so I titled this stream Body Positivity, Empowering or Dangerous, because that is where I am. But before I get into that talk, I have my collagen water right here. I'm gonna have some people are asking me what are some of the things that I do to take care of my skin, and I live by collagen water. I drink it every day, 2 teaspoons. Well, sometimes 2.5, but it's recommended to have 2 teaspoons. Okay, and I'm still moving and getting situated in my place, so everything is kind of everywhere. So right now I'm using these water bottles instead of my usual mug, but we'll get into it. And I eventually will have to cook in my new place. And so I have this cookbook. Y'all see it? Probably like no seafood cookbook. So this is gonna help me make some delicious, healthy meals in my new place. And there's all kinds of cool dishes. And as soon as I open this up, I see fried oyster poor boy. Oh, I can't show it to you guys. We're not eating no shit like that. No. Seafood stuffed flounder with garlic butter sauce is too much. No. Anyways, I'll have to look through this book and come up with some recipes. But here is my cookbook. Isn't it pretty? And I actually I actually bought this book at Disneyland. Seafood stuffed artichokes. Oh, it's too much with lemon mayonnaise. I kind of like simple food. But there's got to be some good recipes in here. Anyway, okay. Another story for another day. I will go through here. But look at these. Look at that on the book. Doesn't it look nice? It is a nice book, right, 504? This book was $45, and it better be worth it. Bloody Mary. All right, I have to look through this book, and that's gonna be it. Hey, CCC Podcast. I was just talking about you earlier. So CCC Podcast, let me highlight them. I appreciate you. You guys had a really good stream. I will have to catch the replay on that. But if you guys are not subscribed, subscribe to CCC Podcast. I am going to look at that stream because you asked a really good question about addiction and family members and things like that. And I definitely want to explore that. I could tell you guys this, you guys, before I get into my commentary. When it comes to family and addiction and overdoses and things like that, I got to tell you, it's a really touchy subject. And for me, it's a really personal subject. I know that some people like to, it's just such a loaded discussion. I'm going to wait on that. But I feel I have my own opinion. I did catch that part of your podcast. So shout out to them. What's good, Room Shaker? All right, you guys. So let's get into this topic since I'm not live with you guys long. Since I'm working and stuff, I didn't go to work today. I was on a roll with working, and I took a mental health day off, and I'm going to take tomorrow off as well to go to dance. Now, let me tell you why. And then we're going to get into this body positivity shit. Okay? Because that's been on my mind. Thank you for dropping that link. I just realized where I know them from. Thank you for dropping that link. Let me say this. So I didn't go to work today. You remember when I told you guys I was in a car accident? Well, a fender bender. This guy is being an absolute jerk. I just want to pay for the damn thing. He wants all this stuff, and now he's trying to be all dramatic, like I broke him or something like that. I didn't break him. I just hit the car. Okay? I tapped on the car. It went a little whatever the case may be. I thought this was going to be a simple take your car to the damn shop and I was going to fix the car. And I'm having all these problems now. So I don't know what it is with me in driving or whatever. Y'all know I was in a wreck. Oh, not a wreck, but somebody did a hit and run on me a few weeks back. Y'all remember that? And so I didn't want to do that. I did the right thing. I pulled over. But now this jerk is just being a complete asshole. He has all these people calling me for money, and he's an older guy, and it's been an absolute nightmare. Now I'm gonna try to keep. So I didn't go to work because I felt stressed. I don't know how people do it, but that's been a nightmare. And I'm like, all right, let me pay the couple $1,000s and get you out of my hair. But for him now, it's like he wants like 14 or 15,000. We ain't doing all that shit. You gotta take me to court. This was a fender bender. You have an old car. So dealing with life shit. What's good, Derry? Dealing with life shit, you know. So I didn't go to work, and I hope they understand. I will be there on Thursday, and it's all good. All right. Body positivity. Let's get into the shit. I'm gonna play a clip for educational phrase purposes only. Now, I have gotten a lot of people in my comment section that is asking me, why do I want to lose weight? Why am I on this weight loss journey and stuff like that? I'm on a weight loss journey because my BMI is usually around 19, and I was pushing at about 20. Not only that, but it's about me being a healthier version of myself. I feel what's good, Rio. Let me get off the chat. Let me get off my chat. I'm gonna leave you on the hands of my moderators, and I'm gonna drop a link for 504 girl. She can come up. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna get right into my commentary so I can get out of here. But before I drop this link, I want to say this. I feel so the body positivity movement. Are you guys familiar with that? You have a bunch. So this movement actually started a while ago, but and it seemed to have started in a positive way. But now I feel, in my opinion, that it has turned toxic. I think that a lot of influencers are giving us very uneducated advice. What's good, Robin? And it's not okay. And I'm wondering if the body positivity movement has turned toxic. The body positivity movement, in my opinion, only celebrate one type of female body, and it's one thing to be positive about your shape, and it's another to promote something that's completely unhealthy. The way that you eat directly affects your health. That's it. That's all. Why are a certain group, y'all realize this, who's the most obese in America? All right, there's a reason. Are we really thick or are we obese? If you have a body, a BMI of over 30, you're considered to be obese. And I'm not shaming anybody, but all I'm saying is that I do believe that health is wealth, and we got to take care of our health. All right. And that's all I'm talking about. But all of this, I'm trying to be too thin and stuff like that. I'm not trying to be too thin. All right. I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying to make sure that I do not swap one addiction for another, because what I am finding out, that's for 504 girl. What I am finding, or anyone can hit my link, but what I am finding out is that it's so easy to swap one addiction for another. All right. For me, it's sugar. I love my sweets. And I don't love my sweets. I love sweet tea. I'm very aware of what I put in my body. But it's interesting how many people feel that, you know, when I see them and they're addicted to food, they feel that it's different than what the addiction that I was going through. The only thing that's different is the substance. You try to stop eating your favorite comfort food and see if you have cravings and you want to go back to that. I'm going to play this clip for educational phrase purposes only. Let me know what you think. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Piers Morgan, but he speaks about body positivity and influencers often. So I'm going to share a clip. Let me set that clip up. Okay. And I am interested to know what y'all think. Don't beat me up too bad. All right. I will be on this for a while. Okay. Let me. And I wish I knew how to do this faster, but all right, I'm showing this for educational phrase purposes only. And I think this is the clip here. Let's go. My light is blinding me. A second.
Twice as much as those of a healthy weight. £1 billion a year obese patients cost the British Health Service, twice as much as those of a healthy weight. But the body positivity movement preaches that fat is now fabulous, and that its craze is fatfluencers who rake in cash by boasting about, well, being fat.
What I eat in a day is a fat let's go. I don't know how many times I have to tell you bitches, I'm going to start my morning off with a Starbucks iced coffee.
هذا ما فيش and then I had a few mouthfuls of this cake, but it wasn't as...
Oh yeah, come on. You get the symbol out front.
Really? That's what people are watching? Apparently. Well, TikTokers like my next guest are putting the pound in excess pounds.
The new hot 30i is
Robert,
just
is that you?
$89.99. Do you like sweets? Well, you can get 2 kilos of sweets for £10.
Promoting obesity.
No, I'm promoting a good deal. $25.99 for 63 rolls of toilet paper. A donut maker from Tower. All of these products have 2-year warranty. A candy floss maker and a chocolate fountain.
Okay. So I'm joined by TikTok star George Keewood, who you just saw there, and Sienna
Bargains.
Huh?
That's what I say, bargains.
Bargains. All right. And his wife, Sienna, and the host of the Blair White Project, Blair. Well, okay, listen. Blair, I'll come to you in a moment. First of all right, George, let me get to some stats.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how much do you weigh?
Look, I'm not going to talk about numbers because the thing is, when you...
Well, I think you should. I mean,
No. The thing is, if I give you the number of how much I weigh, it's going to be all over the Sun, all those trashy newspapers tomorrow morning. I don't need it. Don't need it.
Well, you don't need it. You're on TikTok every
but the
day
thing
showing
is-
us how big you are.
Yeah, and look...
And you're proud of it.
No. There's a difference. There's proud, and then there's just being positive in my own skin. And that's what I am.
Right.
I'm not proud to be fat.
Would
I'm
you
not
accept,
proud to...
Would you accept that by medical definition, you are morbidly obese?
Look, if that's what medically you want to call it, then call it.
Well,
It's
no,
fine.
you know.
Okay, you guys. So, wait, let me find you. Okay. All right. So you have. Where am I? You have an idea of what I'm talking about. What's good, Power for? Wait a minute. Is that Demon Soul? Hold on. Let me put up my banner. I think that's her. Hold on. Hey, is that you, Demon Soul? I forgot to put my banner up. Hold on, y'all.
Yes, it's me.
Oh, okay. What's good with you? Hey, Godmama.
I don't really even know our topic. I just said, "Oh, I'm here, and the live ain't over. I'm doing better than usual because usually when I'm here, you get ready to leave. I just came to see what you're talking about."
Okay. Good to see you. And you're right. I'm here early today because I didn't go. What's good, Mod Squad? I saw y'all out. I didn't go to work today, so I decided I was going to talk about body positivity. Are you familiar with that movement?
Yes, and look at you serving titties and tank top. You know I love to see it. That means the summer, sun's out, boobs out. That's what I'm talking about.
She does not act right. Yeah, I will. I'm actually in my workout clothes today. This is my lounge gear, and I've been trying to get it together. I bought this dress that does not. It's another story for another day. It was supposed to be like this little cutout thing, but yeah. So I'm trying to make sure that I am in good shape for this summer. Now, the body positivity movement. Do you feel that it's toxic or helpful?
Now, it's helpful because this is where you're getting that whole thing, like with Lizzo. Like, okay, and I've seen both sides of the argument. They'll say, okay, she'll throw a tantrum about this, but then she'll feed into it by, tagging her thing, be eaten by Lizzo, or like, have like, fat and don't care, but then she'll say stuff bothers her and all of that. I think body positivity is good, but see, Oprah just did that thing that shocked a lot of people by saying that she feels like she's person responsible for what we call the diet culture ever since her Slim Fast ads and bringing that Trump, that wheeling that thing out in that black outfit with all that fat and everything, and like making people obsessed currently by diet. So she did this big summit with different people, different women who represent, images of plus size women in the industry, Rebel Wilson, different people like that, to say what we're going to do to come together. And I created this culture, but she's still on Ozempic, but she stepped down from Weight Watchers because she felt like she was contributing towards the diet. So at some point, I guess, when it doesn't become about health, but looks, I think is the issue. Because if we too much encourage it, are we also encouraging obesity and lack of restraint? I don't know. It's like a catch-22.
That's how I feel as well.
Well, see, for me, I feel like, first of all, body positivity is basically just loving yourself and accepting yourself for who you are, regardless of how you look, regardless of your flaws and everything. Now, when it comes down to people being overweight, I'm a BBW myself. And there's a lot of different contributing factors other than food that can contribute to you being overweight or have more weight than, let's say, your body height should say you should have. It could be that you're on certain medications. It could be you have thyroid issues. There's a lot of different reasons why. So for me, I think that embracing yourself, regardless of how you look, is always a positive thing. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people who I do see that will abuse food. I think from
Your sound is working. So
places like
is it just me? How's the sound, y'all? Hold on.
It's going in and out.
Yeah, your sound is working a little bit. 504. What I think what 504 girl said. She's a BBW. She is breaking up. Okay, thank you, CCC. She's a BBW.
Am I still breaking up?
Oh, try to talk now.
Am I still breaking up?
That's better.
Okay.
Okay, so what I was saying is, and I do know that there are some people who abuses food, but that could come from past childhood traumas of, let's say, parents were in domestic abuse situations, or children that were possibly placed in CPS or taken away from family members. A relative passed away. It could be, something happened to them in their adult life that they sought solace in food. And
Right.
the way
You
that
never
they
know
cope
anybody's
is to
reason
eat.
for being
Now, I
big. They
do
could be on
agree that
steroids.
some people do look at food as a comfort. That can be a negative. But I don't think that the whole body positivity movement as a whole is toxic.
Let me
I
read the
think that people think it's toxic because they feel like, and this is the thing with entitlement with people, and this is what I used to always run into, even before I had my weight surgery. People will say, "Oh, we're just saying this because you're concerned." No, there's a fine line between gossip and talking about people. Because really, are you really concerned about my heart? Is you and your mama really concerned about my heart when I'm in elementary? Are you just mocking a child and making fun of people? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people will use that health concern bullshit to say, "Oh, they just care about them people's health and you're gonna have a heart attack," and they'll say that kind of thing to be cruel, but brace it as concern. And I get what you're saying, but then I know the whole positivity movement has taken hits because there's communities that say, well, y'all embrace big people because it's wrong to talk about big people. But when there's somebody too skinny, we say all types of stuff. And that we don't, and that we're, those people are supposed to just accept it because at least they not obese. But there is a such thing as issues with being able to gain weight too. And you're right. I think there's nothing wrong with it if it's just about accepting the skin that you're in and also minding your business. Because like you say, you could be taking steroids for a life-saving illness like lupus, autoimmune, or whatever. And if I have to go on prednisone for my autoimmune at times, it also swells you up. So you can't really judge people because you never know what they
Exactly.
got genetically. But that's a thing in general though, judging people without knowing what they walk is.
Y'all gonna be mad at me. But how often is it genetics? Let me say this. Now, I did not know this.
Not very.
Not very. All right. And I feel like there was someone else that had, oh, this damn dog. There was someone that had, when I was speaking about this over in a different community, and someone had brought up the fact that medicine made them gain weight. And I'm just like, did medicine make you gain that much weight? And they were talking about in excess of 300 pounds, right? And I'm like, at what point did you not realize that this medicine was causing you to gain all this weight, that you didn't go back to the doctor and say, hey, that this is a negative side effect? So
The medicine
Okay,
made them
hold
gain
on. Let me
300
speak on that.
pounds?
Let me speak on that because V Miss O brought up a medicine that I take, which is prednisone, which is a steroid. Steroids make you eat. Now, do I want to eat or do I want my lungs to stay open? Do I want to eat or do I want my muscle disease to take over? Where now I'm incapacitated and not mobile at all. So there are choices that you have to decide when you're on steroids for medical purposes.
Okay. But wouldn't that be considered a side effect to where it would be a side effect to me? I mean, obesity does cause health issues, and it's almost like, okay, you're going to take care of this condition to create another.
I mean, unfortunately, a lot of times that's what ends up happening. Like, you have to take medicine to combat one thing, but the side effects can cause something else.
Now,
Whereas that medication may be saving your life, but it can contribute to something else.
I
Not just
agree.
obesity, I'm just speaking in general.
I agree with you. I don't think I put the definition out there. Let me read the definition of body positivity. And thank you for the definition, 504 Girl. I'm going to read this. What is body positivity? Body positivity is the idea that everyone deserves to feel good about their body, regardless of what society thinks, just like what TMO was saying. The body positive movement seeks to change the way that other people view standards of beauty and increase the acceptance of all. Now, the article does go on to talk about the dangers of body positivity, the Westernized standard of being beautiful being young, thin, and white. And the thing is, beauty is always defined by other people. So that's something that you got to take in mind. Like when you're talking about the who's the most overweight, just Google it. If you Google who's the most overweight group of people in the United States, it's going to say Black people, and it's going to then go further and say Black women are the heaviest, and we lead obesity. But we know that our standards of beauty are different because Black women, we define beauty as being curvy, and y'all stop me whenever you want to. But our bodies are curvier, right? So that's kind of touchy. But as far as being obese and being the most overweight, it's going to show Black women and stuff like that.
Darius, I'm not saying that taking steroids causes obesity. What I'm saying is steroids make you eat. Even if you don't want to eat, steroids make you eat.
I've been on steroids too, and medicine does not affect everybody the same. So if 504 Girl is saying that, and I think that 504 Girl is absolutely beautiful. I don't care what size she is. But
Darius, you're talking about different steroids. Prednisone is different than what they take it for bodybuilding.
Hey, Brother Law.
Prednisone does make you gain weight. That's 100% fact. That's not fiction. That's not
Right,
That's
that
a
is a
side effect.
fact.
Because one thing, it makes you have a moon face, which swells people's face. And I think we're getting confused because see, I think Nicole is maybe talking about things that we take that we have because of obesity. So, for example, if you're taking type 2 diabetes medications that's affecting your weight, where the problem is the type 2 diabetes, which is also mitigated by weight and portion control and health. So you get that in check and make yourself weight loss and exercise control. You would need to take the medication for the type 2 diabetes with the side effects because you would take care of the original problem. Whereas something like lupus or autoimmune, that you can't help that. You gotta take that. And those medicines have most absolutely make people swell up. That's one of the reasons why you can tell a lupus patient from other patients is it's like the moon face, the rashes, and then it's other immunosuppressant things that are similar. I have autoimmune illness that if it goes out of whack, I have to take prednisone. Thankfully, I keep my numbers in good check. But if I had something like systemic lupus, there would be nothing I could do about it. Like, that's just fact. Like, they have to, or you're gonna die, or you're not gonna be able to breathe. So prednisone absolutely makes people gain weight. That's not even up for discussion. We're not even finna go there with that. But
Right, because that's the exact reasons why I have to take it.
right.
Autoimmune
But I'm
diseases,
not gonna
and it makes you
but
gain weight. It
I'm more
makes you eat.
conservative when it comes to most big people, like people who have weight issues. I say a lot more things in common to like what Nicole would say because I just have had, and Fortunately, yeah, we are big boned and we have health problems. My father's side is all big, knowing that I have to be careful with myself, and even though my husband's background and my background, I have to watch my daughter extra. So those things you do need to be an advocate of, because if you know you got them in your family. But most people say big bone and all those kinds of excuses kind of an excuse, and like I doubt somebody that medication put on 300 pounds. And if you weigh a total of 300 pounds, but if you're on something that makes you gain that kind of weight and a doctor is managing it, there is no way they would let you gain, because 300 pounds by itself is morbidly obese, let alone what you started at. So I don't know. Some people's stories, you have to know their medical records and they be putting extra sauce on it. But I do know I am honest about stuff with food. I think it's very few people that can't help it. I think that's BS. Just like, it's these new fad diets. I mean, most of us ain't here because we ate too many fruits and vegetables. That's why I don't even pay attention to too much specific stuff, because I know what it takes to get it done. Eat less, move more, whether that be surgical intervention or whatever. But I do know that most people did not put themselves in there for no fault of their own. You're right. And we do one larger, but sometimes I think we use that as an excuse too, because we say, well, that chart ain't for us. And it's not. But as long as you go to a doctor in America, they're going to judge your obesity based on that chart. I don't care what nobody say. And we've never fell in the lines with that, because we go about how people look versus what they weigh. And that's also a dangerous slope, because some people can carry more weight.
I think your height plays a part in it too, because let's say if you're like 6'2" and you weigh like 220, 240, that looks normal on you. But if you drop under that 200, people will say that you look like you're sick, or you look like, you didn't got too small.
Right, and we say that as a people, but our people be doing us disservice by doing that, because my grandma even told me that one time, and I'm like, but grandma, according to the charts, though, I'm still obese. Like, because what we used to, then we'll say, oh, you need to stop losing that weight, but not really, because they don't realize how small we really supposed to be. Like, according to the charts, at 5'10", which is what I am, I should be about 140 something, 150. That's never gonna happen. At 160 at most, that's never gonna happen. So, even 160 is obese, I think. I think it's between, I think it's like 150 something. The charts are very unforgiving. So I don't let that get in my mind, but I do know that I'm still nowhere near what the goal would be if you go into what you can weigh. I understand how it may look. That's why I said we go on physical stuff. But that's why I just kind of just smile and ignore people when they say, are you losing too much again? Or because my weight goes up and down because of my innocence, because of having the surgery, I can lose weight quick. I can do those things, or I can, when I'm getting ill, whatever, my weight goes up and down. I can look very small and I can look like I'm gaining weight, and I can get it right back down. So it is health fluctuating. So I decide not to listen to people, because they just don't know what my weight is. If I know what my weight is, and I know I still need to lose some, I'm not caring about what you think it look like, because what that's going to do is you're going to keep me unhealthy. But yeah, we do that. Oh, you don't need to lose no more weight, and you be sitting there still 200 and something. And I'm like, yeah, I understand what our norms are, but that's
Right.
not what health wise I'm supposed to.
Well, like I said, I think that's when your height comes into factor.
Sheffy, is that you?
It does, but it don't give you much room like people think.
Yeah,
So.
thank you for saying hello to me.
Oh Lord, here she goes.
Where the
Venus,
fuck you go? I didn't say anything to you, Venus.
oh my god, are you okay? Listen,
Never. She's never okay.
I'm
I'm trying
always
to-
okay. You ain't never okay.
Okay, we gonna stay
Don't
on
do that
topic.
to me.
I'm trying
I
to.
We
know
gonna
too,
stay on
Sheffy.
topic.
No, I was okay. I just came up. I didn't even say anything.
Me and
That
Sheffy,
was
we do
Venus
this.
Soul.
We fine. We ain't
That
arguing
was
for real.
Venus
This
Soul.
our little
Don't
thing
throw.
with each
How
other.
about this? Don't throw shots at me if you don't want me to say nothing bad, child.
Oh, I'm fine with the shots. I was just explaining to
It
them that we
wasn't
go
just
through
you,
this.
Venus Soul.
Yeah, I
It
know.
was
I was
them you
explaining
as
to them
well.
that we do this and we not fussing, and we do this. We not fussing.
They
I do
have.
have a problem though.
What's your problem? Hold on.
Nigga, what you got against fat people?
Let me give a shout out to my cousin real quick. What's up, cousin?
Oh,
How you
okay.
doing? I probably shouldn't have identified you in the chat as my cousin, but that's my cousin.
Oh no, cousin, what you doing later on? Cause buying the Dreamers, we can raise a little money for an expose now. Get that screenshot, Sheffy. Get that name. Get that username.
Show my cousin some love, okay?
Okay, what's his name?
Stay on subject. Okay, let me say this, and please like the video. Cousin, we're talking about body positivity. Okay, now my cousin, Shuffy. Okay, let me say this, Demon Soul. You made some really good points, and I'm glad that you can speak from your point of view and how you see things. 504 girl is, as she says, BBW. I'm squishy as hell, so it's not like I'm promoting it. Shuffy, you asked a question. Go ahead. Welcome to the panel.
Yeah, like what you got against fat people? And now all of a sudden you squishy. What's the difference between
Number one,
what's
always.
squishy?
You guys have never heard me call myself squishy. It's not.
No, we never heard that at all.
You guys in the chat that have followed me, have you not heard me describe myself as squishy? I am.
Yes.
I followed you for 2 or 3 or 4 years. Now all of a sudden you squishy.
I have always been squishy. It's not my fault that you have not recognized my.
It's the difference between squishy and fat. Fat people can be squishy. You know that, right?
Okay, let me say this. This is not about shaming anybody. I'm talking about the body positive movement. Is it empowering or dangerous? I feel that it may have started out as something good, but if you saw the clip that I showed earlier, it has turned into something else. It just has. So
I don't believe
thank you, Mama Cynthia. Let me read this to you guys. Thank you, Mama Cynthia.
So what chat room think you don't like fat people?
You know what, Zima? So you know what I don't like. There's a difference between drugs and being fat. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute, but you're not on subject because.
Oh shit! Here we go.
I mean, it really is.
Let me tell you something, because we're having a very specific conversation. Now, if you want to talk about drugs on a different day, we can. But today we are talking about food. We're talking about body positivity.
So you want to talk?
It can't. Wait a minute. If you don't have anything to contribute, it's okay to say nothing.
Hold on. I don't know where you got that from. It's not that I never wanted to contribute. And don't swing your hair twice at me, please.
Let me read
That's
this.
fake hair. I got the real hair. I got the real hair. Don't be swinging your hair at me.
Shots fired. Okay.
Shots fired.
Let me read this to you guys. What are oh wait. You just made me lose my train of thought. Hold on.
Like, just don't fuck with fat people, because a lot of people in your family probably fat as fuck.
Actually, they're not, and it's not about that.
Let me see them.
It's not even about that. Hey, how you doing, Sherry B? Let me say this.
MU, you're not fat phobic now, are you?
I think she is. And you know what? I think.
Let me call Lizzo.
I like Lizzo. Lizzo can play the flute. Let me read this to you guys.
You something else.
Now she say, Chef, get this. She say Lizzo can play the flute, but she don't think she should be able to go to no buffet. Look how she doing people. Look how she doing us. No, she want us to perform and not eat. How the hell?
You guys are so off topic. Now we're about to get on this topic of body positivity, and y'all not.
So I'm sorry.
Steffi.
MU, body positivity is totally different than like drugs, right? And you saying we addicted to food? That's something totally.
Are you just looking for something to say? Let me read this part.
I'm looking for something to say.
Let me say this. Let me finish reading this part. Beauty has always been defined by other people. Simply broadening the ideal of what's aesthetically acceptable to others doesn't do much for people on an individual, whatever. It's still unhealthy to have your body image tied to other people's opinion of you, even if they've adopted. So I want us to do that disclaimer, all right? Now, the problems with body positivity is that it seems as if the body positivity movement caters towards obese women, and it leaves out women that have disabilities. Thinner body frames is what I think it was Demon Soul that was talking about, like.
But MU.
And it. Let me finish my thought. And it
MU.
So let me finish my damn thought. It excludes some people. So I feel if it's gonna be a movement, then it should embrace all body types.
You are so full of shit.
Shut up.
Chad, give her a counter to the actual positivity, because she started talking about her opinions.
Because why would
we kind of got on the side?
Why would you say the body?
I feel that you came over here to cause division and chaos.
Me?
No. if you want to participate
Me?
in what I'm talking about, then just
MU,
here's
you said
but since Sheffy wants to go there, here's part of the problem. Now, Sheffy happens to be, you said yourself, I'm discriminated
MU,
against.
why do you think that body positivity is only catered to fat people? You know how many
No,
skinny
what
people
I need
have
you to do,
body
Sheffy, is your
positivity?
research. I need you to do your research.
No, I
Sheffy,
think you
hold
need
on,
to
baby.
do
Let
your
her get her
research.
point out.
Let me say something, Sheffy.
But
Let her
You
get her point out.
research before you
okay,
can join this
okay,
conversation, because right now you're just shooting off at the mouth. And the problem is, if you would
I'm
have,
not.
okay, let me calm down, because this has got to be.
Nicole, calm down. Nicole, come listen.
I
Chef
need to
Rap is
calm. I
defensive
need to
because she
calm
thinks it's an
down
attack
too,
on big
because
people.
I don't want you to
Listen,
think that body positivity is only for fat people.
I didn't.
Body positivity
Let
has
me
come from
you don't know what
motherfucking
you're
models.
talking about. What I
Oh my
said
god.
was, Sheffy, we're gonna tone it down, because I
Wait,
can't
Sheffy, let her finish, baby. Let her finish.
speak to emotional females. I cannot speak if you are full of these emotions. I can't do it. So you're gonna have to calm
You.
down.
Oh.
The movement itself started off as one thing, and it has evolved into something else. And no, I do not think it's just catering towards obese women, but if you look online, that's who the movement is catering to. So my only question is this: body positivity, is it empowering or dangerous? That is the subject.
Battle Roach, you so funny. You got me kiki. Get out of my food cabinets, Battle Roach. You know I got my good
Hold on,
organic
Demon.
stuff
So
up
I don't
in there.
want her to cut you off. Come on, MU. I don't want to cut you off. Let me know when it's my turn.
It's your turn. That's the question.
You know what?
Not
I don't really think that that's okay for you to think that body positivity is really coming from the fat folks. That's what you're really trying to say.
Tell
Let's
her
be
why
honest.
you think that there's a flaw.
And then I ain't gonna lie to you.
Let
I'm
her
sorry,
know
Demon.
why you think the gap is. Tell her that you think it started out. You remember how you said you thought it started out good, but why do you
It
think that
really
it has
did, but then
shifted to only accommodate obese people?
because
hold on.
number
Hold
one,
on, Zima. So I don't want nobody to think that you got me or anything like that. Let me talk to Zima. I'm sorry, MU. By myself, if you don't mind. Hey, MU. You know what, nigga? I don't understand what you're trying to do. At first, you starting to, you shooting from the drug point of view. Now you saying that it's like for food. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that type of shit. Also, you trying to say body positivity. The only thing that you've been talking about is fat people. You haven't been talking about anorexia or anything like that. What about the lack of food? What about all of that? I don't know, MU. You really got me fucked up today. Like I really think that you think that like we're the no, MU, you're not getting away with it. And you got some fat titties, so you a skinny body with fat
well,
titties.
I'm monetized for you're talking to a broader audience. We're not just talking to listen.
Well, you got big titties.
Listen, no. They're mammary glands, ma'am. Listen.
Oh wow.
I appreciate her tank tops in the summer because I just love a woman with supple breasts like myself, and I just love it. And it's eye candy and hey.
Hey, Demon, so I think MU really
Let
tried it.
me say this. Hold on, you guys.
She act like where she get them fat boobies from? She got something fat on her.
You're derailing my show.
Hold on, chat rep,
Baby,
sweetheart,
Chat Rep,
Please
that's
stop
sweetheart.
called
telling me to
saline,
hold
baby.
on.
That's
But
called
okay, I
Hold on,
saline.
will.
baby. Hold on, baby. Hold on. We just started the conversation.
I'm gonna finish this
So
conversation.
we haven't
But
gotten to the other side. We
hold
haven't
on.
gotten to the other side of the spectrum yet.
504, but we had hit on it a little bit.
Stop it. Let
With
me
the big
go where
girl.
I'm going. Sheffy, I don't come to your house and tear it up. Now you're not about to tear up my cousin is in the chat and he don't want to hear about my mammary glands. So you're gonna have to be proper.
I didn't talk about your mammary glands.
Yes,
You
you
brought up
did.
your mammary glands.
Yes, you did. I never
I
Sheffy.
said you had some big ass titties.
I'm monetized. You're trying to cost me my monetization. I don't see any cash apps running
Now
my
you
way.
know, now MU, you know that's the furthest thing from my mind is to cost you your monetization.
Let me talk about this. Now, Demon Soul says we also mentioned. See, that's right, Demon Soul. Let me get back on subject. Sheffy, you're gonna have to control your feelings. It's already controversial, and you gotta leave your feelings at the front door. Okay.
Okay, well you need to not attack us either.
Now, listen. You're throwing your weight at me, and you feel.
No, you trolling, not throwing your weight. You know I'm not throwing my weight at you. Come on now. Okay. Okay, that was funny. That was funny. I got the joke. I got the joke.
Please
I
go.
got the
Jesse,
joke.
let's get to
Okay,
the stream.
misunderstood. Another reason why I
No,
feel
he
like
said I'm
body
going way
positivity
better.
is now coming back out, and you may feel as if it's only being a positive towards BBWs, is because back in the day, people looked at BBWs as sloppy and nasty and
Whoa,
slouchy
calm
looking, and
down.
now we're coming out,
Let me
baby, like, bam,
let me
look at me. I can
please.
dress. I look good.
Hold
I keep
on.
up, my
Why
hair
do
is
people
done, my
think that
nails
fat
is
people
done.
can't dress?
More men, excuse
Jesse,
me,
what's good, Clyde?
more men are now
No.
embracing the fact that they are, in fact, attracted to BBWs.
A lot of
So I
people
can
think that
see
skinny
why
people
maybe
do
you
crack.
may think that that's the reason why it seems as if it's more directed towards BBWs. But I still feel, as a whole, body
Misunderstood. You
positivity
biased.
is a good thing, and it just wants you to just embrace yourself exactly for who you are.
I'm gonna give you guys something right now because that sounds great, but what is taking a toll? And I'm on. Okay, so it's clearly I'm on the other side of the argument. The 504 girl is saying it's a good
Right.
thing. And I
504 was
think
on
I
your
heard
side.
Demas. No, she's not on my side. I think I heard
Yes,
Demas
she
also
is.
say that the positivities about the body positive movement. I find it to be negative in some ways because some things, if you look at some of these influencers, right, they're promoting some of it, not all, but some of them promote these unhealthy lifestyles, and we cannot say that there's not problems with obesity. So just like
I'm not saying it's not a
I'm gonna
problem
say
with
something
obesity.
controversial. And MU, I think
Yeah.
we may be thinking more alike than you think. You know how I say sometimes I feel like we should bring shame back to the culture a little bit because sometimes you should be ashamed of things. Therefore, it brings it. So I understand when you say, "Okay, nobody say nothing to nobody," because sometimes you do need to intervene, and there's some things that need to be said. I think, but that's also based on whether they're a minor, basis where it's your people to talk to. It's a way to do it because we haven't put time into the psychology and most people aren't trained in anything more than what's coming out of their ass. It's gonna be hard for anybody to really be qualified. So there's a way, but I understand what you're saying. Some of the things I've seen in the vein of that, you're gonna always have people who make something that's good and turn and whatever, have glorified gorging, overeating, and making it seem like there's no changes that need to be made. Period. You should be able to accept people who they are, no changes, and that's doing a disservice to people. Now that I do agree with Nicole because I do believe, but that are some creators. I think as a whole, though, I think as a whole, it's a right message. But the problem is, like with anything, and I don't want to bring up the fact that skinny
But
people don't get
but
the
the Miss
same
So can I
treatment.
say something to you? I don't think everybody the same type of fat. You know what I'm
No, they're
saying?
not. But that's why we don't need to get into that because I was trying to
But I'm
explain to
just
you the only
saying.
reason we
But
got
I
into the
feel like
fat thing
she's
is because
hold on, Miss So I feel like what she's saying is that everybody who's obese is the same type of obese, and that's not correct.
I can see how you felt that when we started
You
getting
know what I'm
sidetracked,
saying?
Nicole, a little
Some
bit. I
people
can see how she felt that way,
are
Nicole,
like
because
predisposed of gaining weight. Some people gain weight because of this. Some people gain weight because of that. And when I mean gain weight, I mean gain like
yeah, we
BOB
brought
too.
that up, but that really
Ho-
wasn't the
But I'm
topic.
just
We
hold
just
on. I'm
started
just saying a
talking
lot
about
of
it.
people gain weight as well, and I want to misunderstood will acknowledge that is because a lot of people get pregnant too when they just stay fat, or people get older and they're fat, or people just are big boned and they get fat. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just like to motherfucking eat. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of reasons why people are obese.
Nicole, what she picked up on is when we started getting off on the side, we started talking about medication. Some of your
No, I
opinions,
didn't
just like
even
some of
mention
your opinions on
medication.
weed. Let me finish, though. Y'all know, let me finish. Like, I know where you picked it up from because I know the exact point Chelsea clicked the link. Because we got into a side conversation, because what we were talking about as far as medication and reasons for obesity, we weren't, so we were, it was an offset of the body positivity move. We just started talking about obesity. That's not really the major point. But when we did, you started hearing some of Nicole's opinions about, do you really think it's medicine? And
Yes,
some of her
ma'am.
person.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
get that, and that'll be a whole nother discussion. I believe that's important as well because I did start to pick up. That's why I started saying, "Well, no, Nicole. Sometimes I think we need to just. I know what you're trying to say. There are some illnesses people have because they're big, and that is true. But there's also some things that don't have anything to do with size, and they will gain weight. But I do think that 300 was a stretch. What that was a two different conversations. We just kind of started talking about it, but we
Okay.
were getting back to it. Yeah, and I
But
think
then,
that
Miss
she's
So,
saying
you
your
know,
views on big
but then,
people as
Miss
a
So, you know,
whole.
I'm gonna have a word in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And that's what Nicole, she's thinking about your opinions on big people as a whole, Nicole, not the positivity movement in itself. And because of some of your reasoning that you
Then,
don't
Miss
agree
So,
with the
I'm
positivity
sorry,
movement, I
Emily, you
think it
on mute.
seems that you may be fat phobic to her because just because of the stuff that your opinions that are coming out as we talk about this, and you believe that on the obesity side it's becoming out of control. I think she's saying, okay, well, what your personal feelings about obesity, I think is what's bothering
But
her.
you
Okay,
know,
let me tell you about
exactly,
because
D
you
Miss
came
So,
in in
D
the
Miss So,
middle
let me
of
tell you something. You may know more of a fat person better than you know maybe an alcoholic, a weed head, a meth head, or this, that, and the third head. You know what I'm saying? You may know somebody that's fat way more before you know any of this. So yeah, it does hit home,
oh,
especially when your family is involved. You know what I'm saying? And MU, I know you know a nice, cute, fat bitch.
I do know, I know several. Now let me say this.
She know me. She loves me, and she knows I'm beautiful.
I love me some demons. So I feel that I think you did come in on the wrong side of the conversation. When I brought up the 300 pounds, I was talking about somebody who gained weight, 300 pounds from medicine. Okay, so you got a red ball back. My opinions on people that are overweight have nothing to do with the conversation but if you want to know, they're just like anybody else, whether you're overweight, underweight, or normal weight. But the topic is what it is: body positivity. I think you guys have heard
But
me.
Emil, you talk about the obese
Let me finish.
people.
Let me finish my thought. We can't talk at the same time. If my mouth is going like this, your mouth can't be going like this too. I think that you guys have to think back when you guys have heard me say who I think. I'm not going to put names out there right now. Was one of the prettier ones in the sector. One of the I feel like she's, when it comes to like beauty and stuff like that, I definitely ranked her as one of the top content creators as far as looks go. All right. And she's not a skinny woman at all. So you can't say that I'm biased towards overweight people because she happens to be someone that's overweight, that's killing it when it comes to smaller people. With that being said, the movement is what I'm talking about, and food addictions and one addiction to something else. But I'm not even talking about that right now. I'm simply talking about this movement, and is it promoting toxic behavior and saying, hey, I get that, I want you to feel good about yourself, but I don't feel that you should be pushing your unhealthy habits on me and leaving out the smaller people in the movement. We need to embrace all body types, skinny, big, everything. That's it.
I disagree.
What's the battle words? You're just disagreeing to disagree.
No, I don't. I disagree. I feel
I
like I
still do.
disagree because I don't think that's what you were saying, home.
It
You
is what I
making
was
it clear
saying.
now.
And
No, 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 no.
even
I feel like you
smaller
saying
people
that we
sometimes
disagreed. Hmm?
that are too small, then they start thinking everybody wants to be like them. And you got both sides of the scale. No, I just think that people are sensitive when it comes to weight issues. They feel like they're
Well,
being.
yeah, and I think women are especially more sensitive too.
Speaking of women,
Yeah,
why
let's talk about it.
are okay? Let me read something to you guys, and then you can discuss this. And you can be mad since you want to be mad about it,
See,
but
no,
I
no,
can't.
no, don't prepare me to be mad, so I
Okay, don't be
can be
mad.
mad.
Don't be mad.
Oh my God, I'm gonna be mad just off the stress. What you
MU,
trying to
have you
say?
heard about the attempts to make it more about body
Oh,
neutrality?
your
Didn't miss all your mic.
Oh, hold on.
can I?
Is that better?
I want to read something to you guys, and it's more of a conversation that I'm
Still
gonna have.
sound like a robot.
Yeah, it's more of a conversation that I'm gonna have. Okay, Dima, so come back, get your sound together on another day.
No, she's
But
coming back up.
it shouldn't be this hard to talk about food and obesity. Let me read something to you and see if you guys agree. All
But
right.
homie, are you really talking about food?
Yes, I'm talking about
What
food.
you What you say about food? What you talking about? Like bread? You talking about bread? What you talking about? Sweets? What you talking about?
I feel like I'm in the twilight zone.
Like the pyramid? You talking about the food pyramid, right?
If you Google what is the most obese race in America, I'm gonna read you guys this. All right.
Oh, it's black
Non-
people.
Yes, it is. Non-Hispanic Black adults, 49.9% had the highest rate of obesity, and then there was Hispanics and then non-Hispanics, right? And non-Hispanics, it just goes down a lot. And it's also been said in these studies that 4 out of 5 Black women are either overweight or obese, and we lead the highest rate of obesity in America. So if I'm speaking about addictions and getting healthy and stuff like that, and it's not to pick on anybody, I'm simply putting facts out there. The questions are why?
Like, why are
Okay.
black women fatter than every other race?
Wait, so you're not connect. Okay, something's going on with you. So I didn't make those statistics up. And I think that it's such a loaded conversation because the people, I understand. Now, I don't buy the big bone thing because I don't see bigger bones on the x-rays. I don't buy it, but I do buy.
Come on now. What you mean you don't see?
I don't buy. Do you guys?
MU.
Okay, let me ask the chat. I wish I actually did. Do
What?
you guys
Okay, hold on, Nikki, hold on.
Okay, go
First
ahead.
of all, African Americans' bone structures are wider, longer than our Caucasian counterparts.
And just
How I do know that is because when people who study bones look at them, they can look at them and say, oh, this is a Caucasian person. Oh, this was an African American person, just based off of bone structure itself.
Can I say something after 5:04?
I'm still gonna say you can say that the bones are big all you want, or we can just talk
It's
about
all
what it is.
about
Some people eat
MU. It's all about natural selection. Why would I pick somebody who's frail and skinny and can break at any moment than somebody who can take something?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So you would
Let me tell the person in the chat. I don't mind sharing. At my top out weight, I weighed I got up to 487, and I've maintained a 250 something pound loss over since 07. So that would be off and on for like 17 years. So I've lost about like 240 pounds, and I've been up and down because I've had 2 pregnancies and one child, but I've been able to still maintain it to keep it, at between like a 220 to 240 pound loss total.
Okay, you guys, you missed it, but I got congratulations, Demon. So honestly, I was getting some insight from a medical doctor about these bone structures and stuff like that, and I gotta say the medical community does not agree with. Am I wrong in saying that?
They don't agree with what?
Hold on.
They become bigger bones. So they do have larger bones, but they become.
Well, can you say the first part of what you said so they can understand it? And you might have to come closer.
The body has to remodel bone structures support greater weight, so they will become bigger.
So, okay, I'm gonna leave the race thing alone. But as far as like a person being overweight, like, can some people be overweight solely because of the bone structure?
No, the weight actually causes the bone structure to redevelop itself.
Okay. Thank you for your input. I appreciate that, you guys. I just think the mother can know. Oh, I lost Sheffy. I'm gonna say this. Congratulations on anyone that has lost.
I would love for his opinion on when it comes to that, because he knows the cultural things with that, with us and those body charts.
No, he
And there'll
wasn't
be a,
speaking on culture, Demon. So clear disclaimer, he wasn't speaking on culture. He's just speaking on the weight by itself. So I don't want people
no,
to
I'm
get
saying as a former physician, he knows some. I would love to hear him like his opinion on some of that later, like because some of that is culturally, and I know doctors are faced with that. They come in and they say, "Oh, we're never going to weigh that." Because it is, but you have to tell them no, yeah, but and we'll they'll because doctors have to tell us there's no such thing as big bone. That we still refuse to believe that, and different things, and it is a cultural thing. Like, and our bodies are fuller, and we will weigh way more, but there is a point where, as a medical professional, they still have to guide you based on best practices. So I heard what he was saying, and I got the undercurrent. And that's why I was interested in what he said or whatever, because I know exactly what he's talking about. But I can ask that on the side though.
you know, you know how
MU
to.
comes with such better perks than y'all folks. I'm changing sectors to the sobriety sectors because through MU I was able to ask Magic Johnson a question through MU, and actually, so it's almost like I talk to him, and we have a doctor at our disposal. I like it better over here in the sobriety system, child. We going up. We got perks. I'm tired of hanging in the gutter. I'm leaving.
You have perks, and you know what I mean, and I hear what you guys are saying. Yes, there are perks to being over here in the sobriety section. We learn all kinds of stuff. I appreciate it. Demon Soul cracked me up. Let me read this. Mama Cynthia said, "Don't let the medical industry dictate what we should weigh on being healthy. We are strong, big, black, and bold. We are." But I was strictly speaking on the bone structures of being overweight. When somebody says, "Hey, I'm big bone," that's all I was speaking about.
Okay, let's jump to the other side of the spectrum on this body positivity topic. The people who are bulimic, the people who are anorexic, the people who will
Or just
strive to
naturally
be
thin, and then
skinny.
people think they
Right. And
anorexic.
just or just I was about to say or just naturally thin.
Like Snoop
Like
gets a lot of. Well, maybe we should. Never mind. I'll be quiet. Never mind.
let's jump to the other side of the spectrum on people who will either, like I say, either starve themselves or they're eating throw up or naturally skinny. Because just like what you're saying that you feel like now it's a glorification of BBWs, at one point there was a glorification on being on that smaller side.
Yeah, the whole model industry, the whole Abercrombie & Fitch industry, the image was that basically you should just ill yourself if you're not of a standard and those kind of things. And some of them cross over psychologically. But I do get and I do believe, because like, and nothing too, I don't think people realize, like, this is why I can be neutral despite my weight history and even current, because I didn't understand, like, and I know MU probably gets this from people. They feel like sometimes, like, oh, you can't complain. Or like when you say you need to lose 10 pounds, it's like you can't say that because it sounds like you might be mocking or shaming anybody. But when I started losing weight, even getting to even the first 100 pounds, I started saying, I never got mad at my friends that they would speak about things or censor their subject. But I had pretty good friends. Of course, you're going to be friends with me and I was morbid obese. You're not going to be cruel to morbid obese people. But they would say things, and I always encouraged them to be comfortable. And I wasn't like that because now I see what they're talking about. Once I got to what I consider more normalized weight thing, I do notice, yeah, you do feel it if you gain 10 pounds. And I used to roll my eyes thinking, oh, they need to lose 5 and 10 pounds and acting like that's not a big deal. But when I started losing weight and I started seeing comorbidities go away and things like type 2 diabetes go away, I started realizing there is 10 pounds sometimes will make a difference between you having type 2 diabetes and not. It was a point where I lost weight and then the medication stopped. Then I've seen people, if they gain 15 pounds, they have to go back on medication. So there are reasons why people do notice that because like when I'm now the size I am, I can tell right away when I'm gaining weight. Whereas when I was morbidly obese, I couldn't tell. And you do feel it. And if you don't feel good at your personal best, I never judge people like, oh, at least you ain't fat, because people know what it feels like. It's uncomfortable when you're not at what your personal best is, regardless if that's 120 or 220. And so I don't do like some big people do that. And you have people who are smaller feeling like they can't say that. So as women, they're like, okay, well, they'll shut you down. Oh, I need to lose weight, and they'll probably roll their eyes at you. I'm sure MU's experiences, girl, what you talking about? You need to eat something. You know what I'm saying? But it took me to lose weight to see, you know what? They really can tell when they gaining 5 to 6 pounds, because you start getting more to a normal body weight, and you can tell it in your clothes first. But see, when you're morbidly obese, you don't really think of it like that, and you think of it as, oh, they just saying some shit and they don't really have no issues. But that's not true, because they can even stop taking blood pressure medicine. My mama lost 10 pounds, was off medication. So you can make modifications that'll get you just so close to being over the mark, and you have to be careful with that, because you can do that. So I saw another side to that. So I know what you're talking about. Skinny people are viewed, especially in our culture, as, girl, what the hell you complaining about? Or you don't need to gain weight. You got problems gaining weight? I'll show you how to do it. Just eat. Well, it's not that simple for everybody.
I agree with you. So and even so, I mean, and you described yourself as, I think you just said morbidly obese before.
Yeah, I was morbidly obese.
Okay,
Yeah.
and number one, I want to pick your brain about this surgery, because I want to say, number one, I think that a weight loss journey is one of the hardest journeys. It's hard because food is legal and it's comforting and all that good stuff. So I congratulate you on that and your weight loss for real. And I think you're absolutely beautiful. Okay, I missed some of the comments in the chat. Skinny Mac said, first she said, I lost touch with my blackness. How did I lose touch with my blackness? Because I'm speaking about food. I think that we should speak about food more often. I saw that comment earlier. Website. Sunny Mac said, body positivity is not only for big women. There are women who experience being skinny for many reasons, and they are uplifted. So why focus on obesity? Misunderstood. I think you have body image issues. I'm not just focusing on obesity. I'm talking about different things that matter, and I don't have to go through something to talk about it. Okay, I still have. Do I have body image issues? Don't we all have some type of issue? I wouldn't say I have body image issues because I'm speaking about food. I think that does a doctor have to have cancer to talk about cancer? Does he have to have obesity problems to talk to his patients about obesity? Like, I think that's very narrow-minded. All right, that's my opinion. Did I miss any of your
But
comments?
Nikki, let's get your thoughts on the women on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Oh, wait, before you get into that, let me say this real quick. Battle Roach, that is really interesting, and I forgot he did have a food plan. Dr. Sebi is controversial in himself. So yeah, I don't really remember what that was, but thank you for bringing that up. I think that, okay, so Darius says this. Ricky says, I can't gain for anything. 4 out of 5 of our sisters are overweight, but 4 out of our 5 sisters are skinny in high school. It's not bone structures. It's not the bone structure. But, okay, but listen, I'm not talking about the standards of beauty and stuff like that, being thick and curvy. If you're over a certain, if you have a BMI, all right, that's over 30. Whatever.
No, we're not talking about BMIs. We're talking about body positivity. So if you're going to talk about it on the BBW side of the spectrum, let's talk about it on the opposite end of the spectrum, where at one point being thin, being extremely thin was glorified.
Girl, I don't understand. Like, why am I not able to finish? Listen.
No, because if we're going to talk about body positivity, then we need to talk about it all along from the BBW side to the very slim side. Because at one point, being extremely thin was glorified.
I agree with you. What's good, follows for follow? I agree with you. And let me be clear about something. Let me tell you something. Anyway, there's one point where, but yes, there's one point where being really thin was glorified. But is that what started this movement? No, it's not. So I'm not sure. Wait a minute, Sunny Mac. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm not uncomfortable with anything. I don't like to be lied on. Don't lie on me. You can have your opinion, but don't lie on me, because I'm not gonna allow that in my chat. And I expect for some people to be upset by what I'm saying. Don't put words in my mouth. That's all I'm asking. I think that it's a hard subject, and I do feel that there's two sides. So what 504 girl is saying is, what about this? And I'm not ignoring that.
But I think Nicole is saying she doesn't feel like that portion of it is what's changing the resurgence of the new body. Like, I guess she doesn't see. Like, I guess they want to know: do you find any flaws on the side of when maybe being too skinny is embraced, or like only thinness is being embraced, or do you find that it's just more harmful if obesity is embraced?
I'm not saying what I'm saying about
And I disagree with that, Demon Soul, because they still have women, young girls out here every day who still want to strive to be that ice skater, that gymnast, that model,
Right. That's what I was just
who
asking
are
her.
still
I think they
looking
want to
at
hear from
who are
her, like,
still looking at these thinner framed women and
right.
saying that's what I should look like.
Right. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I was saying I think they want to know from her, does she not see any issues when you embrace someone who's too thin or medically too thin, or you don't see any side effects where that may be a problem. I understand you're saying you see that the overweight thing has taken over and you feel like that's dangerous, but do you see a problem with if it's too much of an embracing a body that's not healthy, thin in a healthy way?
I think that you guys probably I think when I'm bringing up these points, I'm not bringing up my personal viewpoints. If you want to know my personal viewpoints, that's completely different. What I am telling you guys is that there is this movement, and it's called the body positivity movement, that started as one thing, and it has evolved into something else. And some of these influencers that really didn't start the movement is making it. When you watch some of these influencers and they're talking about like, oh, I'm so like I ate all this stuff today, and they're pushing all this lifestyle of eating all this high fattening, sugary and salty foods, and they're hiding that under the guise of body positivity, that's when it becomes toxic. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. And so basically you
Right, but
don't
the
you don't
same
really
thing
feel
can
your
be, but the
answer is
same
that
thing
it's not
can
as
be said on the
harmful.
opposite end of the spectrum.
The same thing can be
The
said on
same, the exact same thing you just said can also be said on the other end of the spectrum. When you have girls who are out here looking at these extremely thin women and thinking that that's what they're supposed to look like, that's toxic as well.
It is toxic as
So
well.
we're just trying to see if you see where it's toxic on both ends of the spectrum, because it is toxic on the thinner side as well. And you also have people who are naturally thin, or you have people who have health issues and that's the reason why they're thin. And you also have thinner women who eat more than an obese person. They just don't gain weight.
I think that you guys are missing my point. I am not disagreeing with any of those things, but what I'm saying is I do feel that the body, I'm going to tell you guys this. As far as the body positivity movement, is it toxic or not? I think that it's leaning towards being toxic, because it's not about body positivity. It's about promoting unhealthy habits and still saying that we should be celebrated. In the same way, I won't celebrate an unhealthy skinny person. I'm not going to celebrate somebody that's telling me that you can eat whatever you want and have no consequences. I'm not celebrating anything like that, and that's just my personal opinion on it. Now, you want my personal opinion on it? I'm speaking specifically on the movement and not the body type.
No, Sonny, you're not blocked. I still see you. What you think, Demon Soul?
Yeah, I see Sonny Mac is saying that it was that's the problem though. I don't the body that's her opinion that the body positive movement created to let bigger women feel better. But that's also kind of that I don't know if that's a decisive opinion because that's not what they're saying. They're saying that the body positive movement created to make everyone no matter. And they say the move now is what I've just been seeing about it lately is they're trying to move to more a body neutrality point instead of calling it body positivity, calling it body neutral. Basically, put more focus on whatever size that you are. Don't let that lead, because we're talking about having mental health issues, having other issues that will cause you with stress at either size you are. That would be a negative result of the body positivity movement. Like if we were doing something to, whether it's on one end or not, and it affected your self-worth and your self-view of each other, then that's not what we do. But I think that's going to go into individual therapy, because yeah, some people are going to take advantage of it and feel like, okay, it's basically said I can be as big as I want and everybody should accept it, which they should. They shouldn't be cruel to you. I think that's what people not understanding. Like the body positivity movement was not designed to say that it's okay to be big. What we're basically is it's just the basically do unto others as you want them to do unto you. I mean, I think we overcomplicating it because it's supposed to be about skinny or big, that nobody has the right to be ridiculed, marginalized, lose anything. It's almost like the affirmative action for bodies, right? So if we look at it like that, more of a neutrality, it ain't about, because now we're starting to get into the blame game. Okay, well, we're going to have to worry about this if you wasn't big and you big because of this, but you big because of that. Oh, you skinny because of this. It's supposed to be about just embracing who you are. And if you do need to make lifestyle changes, whether it's on the big end or being too skinny, you can do that in a spirit and feel embraced and not feel bad and ridiculed when you have the issues that you're dealing with. It shouldn't be about what caused you to get here, whether we think it's okay to be too fat or too skinny. That shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be that we should not be cruel and judgmental based on no one's body size.
I agree with that. And I wish that the
I agree.
movement. Okay. Oh, we all agree on something. I don't know. I think that I completely agree with you, and I'm gonna leave it like that. It's hard to have these conversations because when I'm talking about how this movement has evolved, that's it, that's all. And then you get the, oh, you're body shaming, or oh, you like to say that I lost my blackness was complete ignorance, because as Black women and as Black people, we should be able to talk about what's important in our communities, and eating healthy, having these things available is important. And these body positive movements, you do not see them including everyone. Are they including the BBWs? No. Some do, but they're including a certain group of people. All right. And
well, Nicole, you know how they gonna do you. You gonna get problematic. It's also where you at. You know that people are going to challenge you and pretty much not listen to actually what you're saying because of you being a polarizing figure or because of other side issues that have nothing to do with this. You just know what that's gonna come with, unfortunately.
Exactly. Think about this, and which leads to a conversation I'm gonna have another day. But there's a reason I've been bringing up all this food stuff. Do we support each other? There's reasons, there's places I'm going with these conversations. All right. And if we could just take out our feelings, whether we like each other or not, and our biases, I feel like these conversations are important. I just do. We are a proud race, but it's not just about that. It's about living longer, being healthier, and what habits are we passing down to our kids? Looking at these movements, the problem with the movement is when I'm looking at body positivity and these diets and all this kind of stuff, and I see it has just evolved, and some influencers, not all, are showing you, like I just showed a clip, read it, ball it back, the guy taking in all this food, and then he wants to speak about body positivity, but he gets on Piers Morgan's show. The first thing they ask him is what's his weight, and he's speaking in circles and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of these people get online and they're trying to promote a lifestyle that is just toxic, and they're only doing it for clicks and views. I don't understand why is that controversial to say. and it has nothing to do with me
It's
being
not.
black
I
or
think that's why
white.
you should have a part two about the whole obesity and separate it from body because that also we can also bring up too the mukbang community has really made it easier, and you can see before your very eyes people who have changed to being a normal weight and have become like bigger, or things have happened because of that, and social media has something to do with that. And with the mukbang community, that's also more so embracing eating, and like some of the but I think those can be divided up into separate conversations, like as far as what if we're going to talk about the actual causes of obesity and debate about that, or an actual talk about contributors, because a lot of this stuff is being thrown in with body positivity and it's not what it is. That's why I think that people need to focus on the actual definition, and anything else we're talking about is kind of opinions, because we shouldn't be really, it ain't supposed to be about what size you are with the body positivity movement. It's supposed to be about acceptance.
Yeah, and if you guys seen the clip that I had showed earlier, you would see how extreme. You'll see what I'm talking about as far as how extreme these influencers are, and some of you may have missed that. Just redball it, because I'm definitely speaking about a certain type, and actually the ones the influencers were not black at all. So don't make it like this race thing. Although but if you switch it, so like Demon Soul is saying, hey, completely different subjects, it kind of collided together. But if you look up the body positivity movement and the controversy of it, you understand more what I'm talking about. Whew, that was rough. I got through that. Congratulations, and be happy with whatever body size that you are. But these movements that want to say that you can do all this stuff. Did you guys know that there is this petition going around, right? I think they got about 30,000 signatures, 32,000 signatures on if an airline should give a free ticket to someone that's extremely overweight so they can have
Oh my God,
Hold on.
about
Hold
all
on,
that.
Miss.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Followers will follow. There is nothing about me that says ugly or horrible because of my body size,
Somebody call you ugly? Oh,
sir or ma'am.
were you attacked?
No, it wasn't directed at me, but I'm just saying. They said if I think being fat is horrible and ugly. It's not.
I don't think that. I don't think that at all. As a matter of fact,
And Darius, everybody was not supposed to be thin. Everybody was not born to be thin.
And then that's gonna be in subjective, because what's fat to one person may not be fat to another one, child. That's like a big old kind of thing. But I see what you're talking about, Nicole, because I like the whole thing with Southwest and having to wait people and encroaching on seats, and whether you think they should buy 2 seats. Oh my God, we can have a whole Lord, that how that wouldn't turn out well. You had Terry up and everybody up here cussing going on.
they have to pay for 2 seats because they're using 2 seats.
Right.
Why?
Right.
It's that simple. You need another seat, then that's like when I used okay, it's not gonna be the same. Let me forget that analogy I was about to say. But let's face it, when it comes to food, people get upset. And it's interesting that this conversation should have been a lighthearted one, because I wasn't even speaking about food. I wasn't speaking about obesity. I was simply talking about a movement, and it evolved. I don't know.
Yeah, that was Tyrell. You know she's 75% trolling, child. That's why when we start asking talking about the facts, she got down. She ain't trying to have no nerve. She just didn't she heard your like opinions on and through side comment, but it wasn't like the topic.
And then some
Child, I
people
wouldn't pay that no
here to
mind.
try to troll for commentary to say, oh, this happened over there. I'm misunderstood. I get that, but I don't know what y'all talking about on y'all channels. So we go. Darius says women from other cultures are going hard in the paint to be healthy. What's crazy is black women are born with the nicest bodies. Y'all just can't maintain it. Oh shit, shots fired. Oh, I should have read that to myself before I read it out loud.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
I won't say that, Darius. Because that's a loaded that's a loaded statement. Let me pull this up. everybody's born the same. Think about a baby, like think about it. It's what we're fed. All right. So that has to do with a generational thing. And that's loaded. It's not that simple. And not all cultures, you got to remember there's Samoans that celebrate thick, healthy bodies. And our culture, we don't celebrate bodies that are too small now. We like kind of like what's in the middle. So I don't know. Let me leave that alone. I don't know. Think about that. You're supposed to be thin. Everybody's body type is different though. So we can't say that a person is supposed to be thin. Damn. I'm very sorry. What are you sorry about? Follower said, maybe I think it is, and you should respect my opinion. Oh my God. Most men want meat on their bones. They only step out to gnaw on bone. Okay, y'all. I don't know. I think that one of the discussions that I'm actually going into would be the obesity and food addiction. And I know that some people try to compare it with drugs. I heard, okay, so I lost the so on that part. I get it. Some people want to compare that to drug addictions and stuff like that. And you heard Sheffy when she jumped up here. I think you can compare it to drug addiction, but maybe not in a way that you'll like. If I were to do that. Wait a minute. Let me put up my banner. We got company backstage. If you could unmute your microphone. Let me put up my banner now that I got a banner. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I just wanted to be a part of the conversation.
Okay, welcome.
Want me to go ahead and go? Because I know you were in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, you can go ahead and go. I finished my thoughts. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just lost 180 pounds plus, and the body positivity movement, it's got its pluses and minuses. I think it's only positive if people are promoting things that are positive about one's body. But I think it becomes negative when people start making excuses and rationalizing and justifying being unhealthy, like having high blood pressure, having high amounts of sugar in the blood, having conditions such as obesity, which contribute to a lot of illnesses that we deal with as a society.
Congratulations on your weight loss.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess to kind of further go into it, we as people, we do judge people based off of looks. So I think body positivity can only really be for oneself. But when having discussions and looking at real world situations, having a particular type of body can be negative. Because like for myself, what prompted my weight loss journey was having to go to the emergency room due to the fact that I had a headache over 24 hours. And it's because I had hypertension stage 2. And I was like 300 plus pounds. I had no choice but to lose the weight. I had to diet, exercise, and since losing the weight, not only do I have a normal weight, but I also have normal blood pressure. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I no longer have high levels of cholesterol, and I feel great. However, there's other people that would say, oh, well, I'm healthy, I feel fine, even though I'm obese level 3. And it's just like, well, that's between you and your provider. But I think body positivity becomes negative when you have people who are influencers, who are doing the mukbangs, who are somewhat glorifying being heavy. And then you have young people who see that and they start to aspire to be like that person when it's going to more than likely set them up for failure.
I see. Let me move my banner. I had to make sure that you were an actual person. Sorry about that. Hold up.
Oh, no, it's okay. You can leave it up. I'm not cammed up or anything.
Okay, I'll leave it up. Raw. This is he goes by the name of Spade, you guys. I don't know. Okay, go ahead. They were asking who was speaking.
Yeah, so just looking at the chat, being fat is not normal because normal would be like a normal weight. I know I heard not to use BMI in the conversation, but you kind of have to use things like BMI, measuring fat deposits, and other things that are measurable, including the number on the scale, because those metrics are what's used to determine someone's health. So let's say if you go in, you get a full physical and you have a heart problem. Well, if your weight is over the weight that your organs can handle to make you function properly, that's where the word overweight comes from. The heart problem that you would have in the scenario I just laid out is because you're overweight. And the same thing with being underweight, which is skinny fat, where if you have a low amount of fat, but you have a low amount of muscle tissue, then that too will be negative. But it's easier to build muscle and reduce fat if you're skinny fat than it is for someone who's obesity level 3, which is a ticking time bomb, to lose weight. A lot of people have just given up, and that's okay if people have given it up as far as wanting to live a healthy life, have a healthy weight, and not have blood pressure problems, not have sleeping problems, because things like sleep apnea and a whole host of other illnesses are contributed to obesity. Well, people who are obese and overweight, they have to spend more money on medication. They don't live as long as people who live a healthy lifestyle, especially if you're exercising and eating properly. And one thing that contributed to me going from the 180s years ago to the 300s was food addiction. I had to detox from white sugar, white flour, white salt, and just start eating completely clean to not only lose the weight, but also detox. And that's what helped my health.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that experience. You said you spoke about a lot, and you're obviously very knowledgeable on the subject. So I really appreciate your input. And 504 Girl, you as well, speaking from your points of views. You guys, it's a conversation to discuss. It's not to be upset about. So I appreciate the different points of views, whether you agree with me or not. I appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a comment in the comment
Spade,
section.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Spade, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
You were talking about people being on normal weight. Normal weight according to whose standards?
Well, so
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just asking. I just want to know by whose standards. Who was the person who determined what body size would be quote unquote normal?
So you have the National Institutes of Health. They've done research on different body types, ages, genders, and nationalities. And National Institutes of Health plus Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and medical schools and also medical professionals, they're the ones that have done the research and have come up with the information that BMI, body mass index, which determines a normal weight based off of height, gender, age, they're the ones that have determined that according to their research, and which is also accepted in our society, having a normal weight, according to them, decreases the chance of you having a lot of illnesses and diseases. So if I pull up the BMI calculator, which I pretty much use that every day, go into the BMI calculator, I'm 41, I'm a male, 5'11", and I weighed myself this morning. Right now I'm 178. So using the calculator, I'm currently at a normal weight. I just hit a normal weight like this week. and my BMI is 24.8. So body mass index is used to calculate weight status, taking age into consideration, and it's a measurement of how I can reduce issues such as having too much weight on my joints, disease, being able to live longer using biology and science.
Silent. 504 girl, do you agree with him or no? But the thing is, what Spade is speaking about is straight facts. So
I mean, I understand what he's saying, and I'm not quote unquote negating all of the information he's just giving me. I'm still just asking the one specific question, like, who is anybody to say, quote unquote, what is normal? What gives anybody the right to want to say, oh, this is normal, but this is not? And I'm not just speaking on body types. That's just a general question. That's like saying, oh, it's normal to have brown eyes, but it's abnormal to have blue eyes or green eyes or gray eyes.
Well, so eye color is different than your body, because what's normal according to a BMI index or body mass index, it determines the possibility of you having abnormalities in your health, which is different than having an eye color or a particular height or going into a particular profession. Your body is a machine, and there have been calculations that have been created to determine that someone has a normal weight or they're underweight based off their height, age, and gender. So I can read off the institutions and organizations who have come up with this. I just know that I personally...
No, like I said, I completely understand what you're saying, but I'm saying who decides who is that authority?
You mean who says the
I'm not
National Institute
negating
of...
anything that you're saying at all. I agree with the things that you're saying, and even as a BBW, I agree with the things that you're saying. I'm just stating the only person that I feel like who can determine what is normal or abnormal in the world today is the person who created us in the first place.
You mean your mom and your dad?
No, higher than that.
God.
Your grandparents? So okay, here's
Higher
why.
than that.
So when going to the...
Whoever you look at as your higher power.
So when going to the conversation of, let's say, religion or spirituality, they have Bible quotes on that when talking about gluttony. And I'm not really sure if you want to hear Bible scriptures, because I don't know if you're religious or if you just...
No, what I'm saying is I'm just saying, speaking for me, that is the only person in my life that I feel determines what is normal or abnormal. Just me.
So you're saying that you determine yourself what's normal and not normal?
Basically, I look at things on just a person in general, not on what somebody else deems as quote unquote normal or abnormal.
Okay. I mean, that's what body positivity is. It's like saying, forget what doctors say, forget what anybody else says. I believe I'm normal, and I'm normal, and that's pretty much it. Which I think that's your choice. So how comfortable are you with sharing information about your weight and your body?
like I said, I agree that there are extremes that heavier people sometimes go to, but I don't think that it should be looked at as something that is just classified as abnormal.
Do me a hold on 1 second. On the person backstage, look at the private chat. I don't understand what is going on back there, but respond to that.
Ask.
Yeah, I'm not understanding what's going on there. I don't know. Let me put up my banner. Go ahead, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare yourself to yourself, then you're automatically going to be normal, and I think that's great. But in my opinion, when it comes to a discussion as far as general information, you can't really use your individual self to talk about things in general. When general would go to like a mass audience, because now people are like, okay, if he's normal, let me compare myself to her. What is her weight? What is her height? What is her age? What gender does she identify with? And then I can compare myself to her. But then if everybody is comparing their own individual selves to their own individual self, then there's no need for you to ever go to a doctor. Because if you go to a doctor and they check your heartbeat, your heart rate, and they say your heart rate is irregular because a regular heart rate is XYZ, and you say, well, I hear what you're saying, but my heart rate is my heart rate. That's all I'm going to accept. Then you run the risk of possibly having health issues, such as when you become older, you may be obese to where you're in a wheelchair and you're wheelchair bound. And now instead of you being an active senior, now you're assisted living. Or you may run the risk of falling and hurting yourself more than you would if you weighed less.
Person backstage, Kate, what's up?
Now, how you doing, man? This SSI. Look at my teeth, but I'm different. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back, man. You forgot who I am?
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I'm just listening.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Okay.
Soaking up the game. So I love what y'all doing, though. I'm learning a lot with my little slow ass, but I ain't gonna cuss. For real.
Okay, go ahead, you guys. I'll be right back. I'm listening to you. I'm gonna check. Let me take my shirt real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm not here to debate or anything, or to say that we shouldn't follow medicine or that we should follow it. I just know that for myself, I was really, really large. And I was in denial of being large. I was in denial of what was the good thing for me. And so when I was 364 pounds, I just basically was at my house naked all the time because clothes no longer fit me. I was a 5 extra large. Now, clothing is a good indication of what's normal and not normal, because unless you make your own clothes, as a man, a large is considered normal for an adult male. But once you get to being extra large, and then 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X, you got to kind of ring the alarm like, okay, there's a problem here, because I'm getting to a point, this is me personally, it's getting to a point where clothes no longer fit me. Now for women, I know you all use number systems for y'all's clothing, but sometimes you all have medium shirts or tops, large, extra large, so on and so forth. So now it becomes okay, I'm a 4 extra large, or I'm a size, let's say 20. That's normal to me, but there's numbers below the 20. There's sizes below the 4 extra large. And that's the reason why I personally believe that it's okay to have a body positivity, body acceptance, body diversity way of thinking. But I think that we're being intellectually dishonest by not acknowledging that when you put on clothing to leave your home, there are numbers below what you're wearing and letter systems below what you're wearing, unless you make your own clothes. We are all different sizes. And most of the time, the reason why we're different sizes or one person is larger than another is because of overeating. And also it's lack of nutrition education. The situation I was dealing with was food addiction, because I was coping with depression, unresolved childhood issues, like a lot of other people have dealt with. And with somewhat being, we'll just say, intellectually dishonest, not having accountability, it's a detriment to oneself to not really acknowledge, not only do you have a problem if you have one, but focusing on how to turn that problem around versus kicking the can down the road.
Right. Darius, I see your comment says I'm 174 this morning, trying to bring it down to 160 soon. That's awesome, Darius.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make her leave. If
I was gonna say something to 504, but one thing about 504 girl, for those of you that don't know her, she's very outspoken. She'll speak her mind, and if she doesn't like something, she's gonna say. But I do consider her, she's beautiful, she's confident. No one's disputing that, and she has said that steroids, prednisone to be exact, has caused her weight loss. She's one of the strongest people I know. So I don't want anybody to feel that I'm shading them or anything like that. Now, 504 girl, the way that I see her, she does come up, she dances, she laughs, and she's an advocate. That's body positivity, but that's not what I'm talking about. Oh, damn, you can't. Something looks different. You camped up. Okay, Spade.
Yeah, I camped up.
Welcome to SSI. You're not afraid to turn on your camera. You can turn your camera on. Let me bring 504 girl back. There she is. But she's not someone that's gonna miss.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Sorry about that. StreamYard kicked me off. But no, Spade, it's not a debate. I'm enjoying the conversation, actually.
What is the?
You can
He's
turn
getting ready to rob somebody.
Because you're distracted. You can turn off your camera. I don't know what's with the oxygen mask, but you're good. Go ahead, 504.
No, that's my Jesus piece, man. That's my Jesus piece. I believe in God so much it don't even make sense, because I don't have money. I don't have money to buy me like a gold necklace and I can have a Jesus piece. So I found me a Jesus piece and put it on my head and I walk around like this. I love it. I'm cool. You like my style. You thought I was, yeah. I know you like me.
I forgot about
I love
that.
you.
I chill out with all that weird shit now, but I like that. I mean, I remember that. I'm sorry. Get back on subject.
Is that a CPAP mask?
You know where I come from, right?
He wears.
She told me I can't turn my camera on no more.
No, but is that a C?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's a who? You got a panel on family, because I like the way you talk, man. You really inspire, bro. I'm from the Mo 3 sector. I'm the king troll of everybody, but I like the way you talk, man. Because I know I could come to your panel and open up and really talk instead of being a troll all the damn time like I am. But y'all got me on. I ain't trolling right now. I'm being real, but y'all catch me somewhere trolling. I like y'all.
Stay on subject, but we know him, and let me say this, Spade, because 504 girl was addressed. She didn't leave. 504 girl, you can clear it up, but you didn't leave the panel because you didn't like what was being said. You probably just fell off.
Oh no, StreamYard had kicked me off. That's why I came right back.
Yeah, it happens. StreamYard is a mess.
It is.
Salute, pretty black. Salute, pretty black, man. The people's gonna start rushing over here. I'm over here now.
We're familiar with SSI. It's good seeing you. I'm glad you're doing well. Let me say this. And you feel free to contribute. We're just talking about body positivity, and it has evolved to the weight thing. Spade gave a lot of information about BMI. He lost weight, and you look amazing. And I'm not saying that in a weird way. You look great.
I appreciate that.
You gotta watch it, because some people be like, "Oh, misunderstood." No. But I just mean that
He looked like Sugar Shane Mosley. He looked like Sugar Shane Mosley.
I don't know who that is, but
he's a boxer.
He's who?
I think you're talking about the boxer, right?
Yeah, you look like the boxer, man. He whooped Floyd, but they ain't give it to him though. You know, like I know, he beat Floyd.
Right. Nah, you know, I feel like I could box right now. You know what I'm saying? And the new, with my weight loss journey and everything, I got more energy. I feel like I could box anybody on the street and win no matter what the size is. And that's why I kind of promote living a healthier lifestyle. Now, for women, I mean, no offense to you all as women, but for women, because you all have children and because you all are more nurturers, even though society's harder on y'all when it comes to y'all's weight, you all can kind of get away with a lot of stuff, because if you got a woman that has, let's say, big breasts, big butt, big thighs, and she's shaped right, she's going to have a lot of men trying to talk to her, and a lot of women will still respect her. But we as men, you got to be ready to go at any time, because we're supposed to be providers and protectors. And let's say you're just walking down the street, and let's say a dude just wants to rob you or whatever, you got to be ready to throw them hands or pick up a fight and defend yourself. And you can't do that if you're 200 plus, well, sometimes 300 plus. You can't do that and be a man that can take care of yourself and be able to somewhat hurt somebody else if you're overweight, you're sloppy, and you're out of shape. So for me, and the content that I do, I mainly do it for men losing weight. I mean, women are welcome to come and just, you know, participate or whatever, but I'm more focused on.
Can I tell you where you messed up at though, broski? You said you feel like fighting. You said you feel like fighting since you lost a lot of weight, bro. You can't, since you lost, you would get knocked the fuck out. You still get beat up, nigga. If you want that nigga when you was a big nigga, you ain't gonna be that nigga when you a little nigga.
Chill out all the N-words and stuff like that. I'm monetized.
Oh snap! I'm sorry. You feel me? It gotta be in your heart, uncle. It gotta be in your heart.
You're right. You're right. You're right. But what I'm saying is, if like back when I was like 360 plus pounds, I could fight, but I could fight more effectively in shape. You see what I'm saying? Because you got to have the gas. You can't. If you don't have the gas, you just don't have the gas. Someone who's 360 plus pounds.
No way.
You said what?
Let me say
I don't want no problems. No way.
Right. I mean, nobody does.
Don't
not me.
Right. Yeah.
Or my panel. Let me say this. I feel that number one, what I don't want to do is get lost in the conversation about other stuff. I think that what you brought up was some good points about stuff, and the fact that you actually lost the weight. What I want to touch bases on is you're saying that you feel better, you can do what you're doing more effectively, and that's what you're promoting.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And I commend you. Job well done.
Me too. What do you eat with that though? What do you eat? You know what I'm saying? Could you eat ribs and steaks, hoagies and pizza and stuff, or you gotta like slim that stuff down too?
No, so I pretty much eat whatever I want. The key is having a daily caloric deficit if somebody's trying to lose weight. So basically, you would have to go to like the BMI calculator to determine, you know, what your max calories is. I can do a demonstration if y'all want me to. I don't know if y'all want me to share screen or whatever, but just
if you can, sure. If you got something you want to share, you guys, the panel is open. Don't come up here and troll because I'm gonna push you out. All right, I'm not on that kind of time anymore, so don't do that. It's gonna make me mad. But as far as like an open conversation, if you guys agree or disagree, the link is pinned. You feel free to respectfully join the conversation. All right. Go ahead.
If you come up here and troll, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna flag your page. Don't come up here with that trolling. I am a shooter. Do not, I swear to God on God, don't come up here with that.
I mean, not Spade, I'm sorry. SSI, okay, thank you.
So like using calculator.net, I put in my age, 41, I'm a male, 5'11", 178 pounds today. So when I calculate that, basically it puts me at a BMI 24.8. And, you know,
we the same size.
Wait, how did you figure that out? How did you do that? So if
well, I can show my screen to make it easier to see, or I could just put the link in the back chat or whatever. It's I'm not sure if you want me to share my screen or just give you the calculator.
Okay, so if you're trying to share, what do I have to do? What do I do?
I don't know. I know how to share on my end as a guest, but
okay, try it. I think all I have to do is accepted, I think. So I know that for me, like I try to keep my BMI at, okay, so now I just accept. I try to keep mine at no more than 20.
Put your thing up. We don't trust him. We don't know him. Put your thing up.
No, he's good. He's good. Okay, so what am I looking at right here? So this is, okay, so calculator.net.
Yeah. So this is calculator.net. And so what I do is first you go to calorie calculator on the left-hand side. I'm gonna click on it.
Okay.
And then brings you to the calculator, calorie calculator. I put in my age, 41, 5'11", I'm 178. And so I exercise 1 to 3 times a week. Click calculate. And so on this screen, it tells me that if I want to maintain my weight, it's going to be 2,385 calories. So as far as what you could eat, as far as myself, I can eat whatever I want. Pizza, steak, fried chicken. I can eat whatever I want to eat. I just can't go over 22,385 calories today, because if I go over that, then I'll be at a caloric surplus, and now I run the risk of gaining weight.
Okay. So I
How
need to
you
go.
know when you go over?
I need to go to
so
the
you
BMI
count.
calculator, right?
Yeah. Oh, I put it in the chat.
Okay.
I put it in the private chat, make it easier to.
Okay. Doing it now.
So how you know when you're going over? So that means if you buy a you only gotta eat you gotta eat 2 slices of pizza instead of three. You gotta eat 5 chicken wings instead of 10, something like that, right? I don't know.
No. So yeah, I got you. No, so how it works is all food has calories. Calories is just a number that represents energy. So let's just say, you know what? I'm gonna open up a notepad.
By this calculator. Oh my God.
What about McDonald's?
You can have McDonald's too. So okay, I'm gonna just instead of me sharing 3 or 4 screens, I'm gonna just pull up McDonald's to kind of demonstrate, and then I'll talk it out. You all won't be able to see the actual numbers, but I'll just kind of talk it out. All right. So
guys, according to this calculator, I guess I'm overweight. I told y'all I needed to lose weight. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you good. All right. So I'm gonna look for McDonald's menu. Sorry about this. I don't have anything pulled up. All right. So let's say right now it's lunchtime or dinner. So a Big Mac. So a Big Mac is 590 calories. So you have a Big Mac, that's 590. Then you go, and let's say you're trying to get you're trying to do some fries too. Let's say you want to do large fries. Large fries are 480. And now let's say you want a drink to go with that. Let's say you like Fanta Orange and you want a large Fanta Orange. They have it 300 calories for
I
that.
swear to God, that's what I drink. I really drink that for real from Mickey D's.
Yeah, it tastes good, don't it? All right, so 590 plus. So when adding up 590 for the Big Mac, 480 for the fries, and 300 for the Fanta drink, you got 1,370 calories. All right, so on this calculator, it says based off of my height, weight, and age, for me to lose 2 pounds a day at this bottom number is 1,385. So if I were to eat this Big Mac meal, I would not be able to eat anything for the entire day. Just that one meal in order for me to lose 2 pounds. Now, if I'm trying to maintain, which is at 2,385, then it would be $2,385 minus 1,370, which leaves me with 1,015 calories left to eat. So with that being said, it's possible to eat McDonald's twice a day in this scenario, where you get like a regular meal supersized for your lunch, and maybe like a smaller size meal for your dinner, and you'll be able to maintain your weight like that. So what a lot of people do is, instead of just having lunch and dinner from McDonald's, what they'll do is they will have a breakfast, which will probably be 1,000 calories. Then they'll snack throughout the day, and now they're overeating, and they're going to gain weight if they were my height, weight, and age. And that's how a lot of people end up overeating, is that they don't know the numbers, they don't know the information. They eat and eat and eat, and they're like, oh, well, I didn't really eat that much today. All I had was McDonald's for lunch, McDonald's for dinner, and I had a small breakfast and a couple of snacks. Why am I gaining weight? Well, it's because based off of your weight, your age, your gender, and your height, you more than likely are overeating. That's why I was telling, I forgot her name, that it's important to understand what a normal weight is and what a normal size is. That way, if you do want to lose weight and want to be healthier, you have a baseline to go off of to be able to decrease your weight. Because the first step to weight loss is accepting that you have a problem and that you want to lose weight, if that's what you want to do. But I know in the vein of body positivity, people are more like, accept how you are and who you are. I think that's great, because if you're currently 600 pounds, you got to be positive about your weight and circumstance, or you'll be depressed, and you'll probably will overeat and go from 600 to 700 pounds. So I think body positivity, or thinking highly of yourself, is a good step one. But I think being honest with oneself is the next step, in that I'm positive about my body now. I love myself, and I love myself so much that I want to have a normal weight, so that way I can wear a 2-piece bikini when going to the beach or to the pool. That way, when I sit down on a toilet in the bathroom, I can get up with no problems. I can get out of bed, no problems. When I walk, my feet won't be hurting all the time. My joints won't be hurting. When I get into a vehicle, I won't be embarrassed that the vehicle lowers when I get into it. You know, a lot of stuff like that people will be in denial about. But I think if someone wants to make a change and they acknowledge all that stuff, people can use that as motivation to want to be better, because I think that we should all be better no matter what. And I think the enemy of improving ourselves is becoming complacent.
I agree with you, Joe. Type in the chat so I can check your channel out, my friend. Okay. Let me get my banner ready. God, where's my? Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna bring you up. Leave my banner up. Okay, let me bring you. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
What's going on?
I was just dropping in the chat, listening in to David on the. I had a question in regards to, was he? Is he saying that the food that you consume doesn't matter nearly as much as the calories you consume?
Oh, that's for. I'll let him respond, because I don't know.
So when it comes to losing weight, the food doesn't matter as long as you are at a caloric deficit. However, the food plays into a factor if you're wanting to improve things associated with your blood work and your blood pressure. So it's possible to lose weight eating McDonald's every day. However, eating bad food and junk food, especially food that contains white flour, white salt, and white sugar is negative because you increase the chance of you having diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, stroke, heart failure, and a host of other things that will cause you to have like a very low quality of life.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Sounds.
So as far as myself, I had to detox from sugar, from white sugar, white flour, and white salt. And I'm a vegan now. And I've also had to increase my vegetables and my fruit and decrease eating processed food, such as TV dinners, stuff in cans, stuff in packages, cereal. All cereal is bad. I had to eliminate processed food, including fast food like McDonald's, Wendy's, and all that. I also had to avoid ultra processed food such as potato chips. So for me, I eat completely clean right now, and losing weight is pretty much like a speed run for me. It could be a speed run from everybody. It's just when it comes to weight loss, it's 10% about the food and 90% about your mindset. And what I mean is, if somebody is not thinking in a way that's beneficial to them living a healthy life, they're going to try something and they're going to give up because they'll think things like, well, I have a thyroid problem. That's why I can't lose weight. Or everybody in my family's big, so that's why I can't lose weight. Or they'll say something like, well, I'm too old to lose weight, or I feel fine, I feel normal. There'll be a whole bunch of different things that will have them thinking excuses. And then once they gravitate to those excuses, now they're thinking positive of their situation. And then they go into being, we'll just say, complacent. Because usually if someone's complacent, that increases the chance of them getting diseases, including overeating and gaining weight. And gaining weight is okay, but usually we gain fat, but not muscle when it comes to becoming larger in size. So a professional athlete, bodybuilders who are natural, not the guys on steroids, performance enhancing drugs, but athletes, natural bodybuilders, and other people like in the military, police, some police officers, not all, but a lot of people who have a physical job, a lot of them get a pass as far as BMI, and they have to go to be taped because they have a large amount of muscles.
Sound like you did yeah. Sound like you definitely did your research. So you have a combination of experience and research behind you. My second question is, how long have you been vegan, and what was the catalyst behind making that decision? That's a very big step to make.
It is. So July, no, not really July, but 2022, I went to the emergency room and they told me, and I went to the emergency room because I had a headache over 24 hours. And the doctor told me that the reason for my headache was because of having high blood pressure. I was 168 over 110, and they were like, you should be dead. And they had said, in addition to that, we're gonna get your blood work checked. Blood work came back. In addition to the high blood pressure, stage 2, I also had pre-diabetes. They were like, you're basically an entire cake away from being diabetic. Then I had high amounts of sodium, which is salt. I had high cholesterol. I had a lot of stuff that was wrong with me. And so my first step, which was being vegan, I took everything in baby steps. So the reason why I chose to be vegan, and this was like maybe the beginning of last year, I decided to try the vegan thing, and it's because I was having a negative effect with eggs and milk. I could talk about the negativities of byproducts of animals all day, but I don't want to put y'all to sleep. But I say around January-ish of last year is what made me decide to go vegan. However, I had to somewhat pick and choose vegan let's say restaurants, because first, let me explain what vegan is for those that don't understand. So being vegan means that you no longer consume the byproduct of an animal, such as milk, eggs, and other things. I personally do not believe that we as humans should be drinking milk that comes from a cow that's made for calves and not humans. Just my opinion. If people really want milk, it's going to gross a lot of y'all out. I don't agree with it. I'm vegan. But if people really want milk that's healthy and not pasteurized with a bunch of chemicals that's going to make you fall over, you'd be better off drinking breast milk. I know it's nasty. That's for you all that really want milk that's completely healthy. That's on y'all. So a vegetarian, the other side to it is someone that doesn't eat anything that is an animal or has a face. So I was consuming vegan stuff, but what ended up happening is I learned that going to vegan restaurants, you still can be overweight eating that food if you're eating at a surplus, which is the example I gave with the calculator.net. So I'm vegan, but now I make my own vegan sandwiches and I make my own vegan stuff at home. And that's pretty much what started, which helped me to fast track the process to living a better life, was preparing food at home, accounting for every calorie, and meal prep.
That's a very, very well thought out answer. So I can't relate to being overweight at all. Because some people, I was able to get away with a lot of bad eating habits because of high metabolism. Something, some people have, some people don't. Some people are usually in the middle. Mine was exceptionally high, but I wasn't able to get away from the byproducts of eating a bad diet, like the one you speak of. Most of us, especially most of us are Black, I'm assuming. Our diet consisted of what I call the hood diet: Coney Island, chili cheese fries, like you said, TV dinners, and so forth. But what I had dealt with was a lot of anxiety, heart palpitations, things that you looking at me from face value, you would assume I was very healthy. But also hernias, things like that happens internally. People, even my size, they will get diabetes. You say, how can you get diabetes? You look like a clean bill of health because they have high metabolism. They can burn the calories faster. Like you said, there are consequences on the back end. So in a strange way, those people who are overweight is kind of like it's the best barometer of ill health. Whereas someone like myself who have a high metabolism, you won't know typically until it's too late and you're in the hospital for a disease that you didn't even know was possible because you don't show the outward signs of. When it comes to what I can relate to, however, is the vegan aspect thing, veganism and going on that diet, believing that would help me cure a lot of my ailments that I was dealing with internally that would, again, blind to most people, but obvious to myself. And the consequences of these things is not something, it's similar to me having a high metabolism. You won't realize something is wrong until something bad happens. In my case, I ended up having just severe cavities out of nowhere. And I wasn't into the processed veganism stuff. None of that, what they have now, the Morning Stars and the fake meat patties, none of that. Clean, straight vegetables, fruits, avocados, that's about it. And for me, it was a process of a year and having very bad cavities, having to get 2 teeth pulled. And you can see it was odd. I would be so confused looking at it, little black hole in your tooth, and say, okay, that's weird. That should go away because I'm on a vegan diet. You eat more and more of the same thing, and then it just gets larger and larger to the point where I almost died as a result of having this tooth that was so infected that I had to get it pulled. So I had to get emergency operation, have that tooth pulled. Now I'm still not connecting the dots that this had anything to do with me eating a primarily plant-based diet. 'Cause I was absolutely against eating any animal byproducts, milk, eggs, cheese, especially meat if you're a vegan.
I can explain it to you if you like.
Oh, sure.
So vegans will still, like vegan food or vegan dishes will still contain white sugar. So white sugar, if left on your teeth, like you don't brush right after you eat something, that sugar staying on your teeth turns into acid, and that acid is what causes or increases the risk of you having cavities, which exposes the root. So to prevent cavities, every time you eat something, you got to brush your teeth. And you can also avoid white sugar instead of consuming white sugar or anything that has white sugar. Like if you're making a cake, instead of using white sugar to make a cake, or white sugar or cane sugar, you can use monk fruit sugar as a sugar alternative, and then brush your teeth after meals, and that'll prevent cavities. Now, if someone has a cavity, they can have, white bread or white flour to avoid. Yeah, you definitely want to do that, because white bread is bleached bread. Even whole grain bread has its problems. Me personally, if people ask me what do I recommend as far as bread, I would say keto bread. That's a low net carb. But you can use xylitol, which is like a gum, and they have like a mouthwash, xylitol. You can get that from ordering like on Amazon or maybe on Walmart. You can use that to reverse cavities. There's YouTube channels that go more in depth than I go, as far as my knowledge of it. I just know that I've pretty much have, instead of using cane sugar or white sugar, I use monk fruit sugar. I brush my teeth after I consume something, and that's helped me to avoid cavities. I had like a bunch of teeth pulled, and I didn't know that till later on in my life. Now, as far as the metabolism, everybody's metabolism is the same. What's different is that you might have some people, I don't know where you're from, I don't know anything about you, but let me ask you this. Do you walk a lot? Are you from a large city?
Large city. So yeah, a lot of walking. I'm very physically
Yeah.
active since I was a kid.
So walking, I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off. Walking at a conversation pace where you're not out of breath, you're not sweating, and your heart rate's not that high. Walking like that is actually a fat burning workout. So it's not that your metabolism is high, it's that because you're in a large city, you do a lot of walking as opposed to driving in a vehicle, riding on horseback, or sitting on a couch, eating and watching TV all day. You're doing fat burning workouts probably every day when you go from point A to point B. And that's the reason why, even though you may eat stuff that's processed, like junk food or fast food or whatever, that may be the reason why you've never gained any weight.
I should clarify. So I'm guessing you. I don't live in a walkable Detroit, so that's not a walkable city. It's the opposite of that. So yes, I walk, but just my recollection, it wasn't. It was always, even if I was as active as other kids, there were just simply some kids who had more weight on them, and some kids like myself who were hard gainers, as they call it, since as long as I can remember. And then some people mostly who are in the average or in the middle. But we all got the same exercise. We all was outside. In some cases, they would be outside a lot more than myself, those who were easy to gain weight. So their issue was whatever genetic. So I think some of it is just genetic predisposition. It's just that's the way, kind of like some people are ectomorphs, some people are kind of like mesomorphs. It's similar to that. I don't think that's anything. Some people have that slight advantage, some people don't. Some people kind of have to make up for it in other areas. So it's not that I got more exercise than the average person. I would even consider myself slothful compared to most people who struggle to keep weight off of themselves. It's just some foods we can tolerate better. Some people burn it faster. I think of it like a fireplace. You have a fireplace. Some people's fireplace just burns things quicker when you put it in the oven. And some people's fireplace, it still turns on and off, but it's at a lower temperature. So they have to be even more careful about what food they put in their oven, so to speak, in order to make sure that they don't go over whatever their body is naturally capable of burning on its own.
So the reason why, right. So in doing the research and living the obese life, I'm here to tell you that one thing that we may make the mistake. I'm not saying you're wrong, but one mistake that we make is, even though we may believe we know what everyone eats, a lot of people eat late. A lot of people do a lot of snacking. A lot of people overeat when it comes to meals. Because if you're eating a TV dinner, the TV dinner is already portioned out to be a balanced meal, even though it's unhealthy. But if you got someone that comes from a family where they cook at home all the time, they may be doing fried chicken, pork chops, rice, and they're not measuring it. They're just kind of using the ladle to scoop it. They're just scooping enough on plates, and they could be overeating a home cooked meal and not even knowing it. So if you're eating fat, even though you're eating fast food and TV dinners, fast food is portioned out, and so are TV dinners. So
Let me cut. Oh, go ahead. Let me finish your thought. Then I'm cutting.
well, no, I'm just saying. I think that when it comes to why someone's overweight or obese, it's their habits. It's always the habits.
Oh, habits.
I agree with you, Joe. It's good having you. I can't leave my banner up, so I got to put you in my chat. Because you're not on camera, and I'm not familiar with you. But I do thank you.
Oh, that's why you got. I was like, why does she have the number 9 up there? Okay.
Yeah. Because because I'm not familiar with the page.
So you just want me to show my I guess camera?
You can. I put it backstage because I had my banner up way too long, and I'm starting to. Yeah, you can show you can flash your camera so I can see that you're an actual person.
Yeah. Let's see if I figure out how to do
Yeah,
it.
you just turn on your. Make sure I'm not gonna get P-bombed and all that good stuff. You get it.
Oh yeah, I forget that. Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm not on camera, I start to disconnect. So we're gonna have to fix this.
How do you I'm gonna figure.
I mean, I love the bro on bro talk and stuff, but I gotta see who you are, bro.
Yeah, no, I get it. I gotta figure out. Okay, I haven't used it in a while. Let me see.
Yeah, if you can see me backstage, I'm bouncing around. I'm doing all. I can't do it.
Yeah, Kava Katana, she got the right idea. She said she eats 100% whole grain bread, which is better than white bread. And then, brown rice is better than white rice. And
I don't even know what Ezekiel bread is. I've heard of it, but I'm not sure. Oh, Kevin, I don't eat white bread. I eat 100% whole grain bread. Me too, Kev. Yep. Kev, messed up your name. White flour, not wheat flour, not white. No sugar, just alternative. I loved baked salmon. I want to make some today. Okay, Joe, you're gonna have to figure out your I'm gonna remove you for a second. Figure out your camera, and then I'll bring you back. Let me take my banner down because I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I don't know how all these people stream behind an avatar. Y'all see my hair looking crazy now.
Hey, it happens.
You know what it is for me, because the things I talk about is like really passionate to me, but I need to connect to my audience, and I cannot do that behind an avatar.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Okay, I'll bring you back. Sorry, but that number 9 was driving me insane. Yeah, you know what? Thank you, Joe. It's such a loaded conversation. I know that people are sensitive about it. For me, it's just when I eat better, I feel better. And at the end of the day, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. And the movement, anytime there's a movement, I feel, and it's not just the body positive movements. There's a lot of movements that start out great and it evolves into something else, something selfish, or it just changes and it takes away from how the movement started. That's my point.
You think it's great, really? To me, it's like akin to
Do I think what's great?
the body positivity movement.
No, I do not think it's great. I don't want you to misquote me. I do not. I feel that it started out one way and it turned into something else.
It started so kind of like. So what was the way it started, and how did it turn into something else? What is that?
If you read all back, so I showed a clip of certain influencers that turned it into something completely different, where they're promoting, okay, it doesn't matter how much you gain, eat whatever you want, and it doesn't celebrate all body types. It caters to, it caters to one body type, not thinner ones, not whatever. It's just this type of body, and that's my problem with it. I got to take this call and go on mute. But no, I was not saying that I agree with it. I agree with how it started. And it can go back to the way it used to be, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I think when it comes to body positivity, I mean, it's just helping people to avoid eating disorders like being bulimic, or people just kind of hating themselves and being depressed about what they see in the mirror. But the way I look at it, if you don't like what you see in the mirror, you can make a change if you want to, but you don't want an eating disorder. And from what I've seen, I think it started with just people identifying that the best way to start reversing eating disorder is being happy with what you got and not hurting yourself physically or mentally because of what you're dealing with. I think what the issue is that with the body positivity movement, it kind of morphed into people praising overeating, praising being overweight, and you got people like Food Beauty who does the overeating, and you got a lot of other people that they overeat. They look like they're really, really obese, and people praise them for being like that, including the singer Lizzo. But the negative part about it is though that being that large, they influence others, and then they end up in the hospital, and now they're talking about losing weight and going on a diet. They have the money and resources to do it, where your common man and woman does not. And to me, that's where body positivity becomes negative, because people are making excuses as to why have a normal weight and what a normal weight is, as opposed to saying, I'm this large because I want to be, this is my choice. However, it's better to live at a smaller size, and I encourage you to do this in your best interest. Because for me, whenever, like when I was 360 plus and I would go places, I mean, I would be standing in Walmart in line and I'm like sweating just standing there because I'm just, you know, really, really large. Or I would walk from one part of Walmart to outside and I'm out of breath. Or I would be talking and I'm out of breath. And it's because of the fact that my body was over the weight that my organs could handle for me to function, which is where the term overweight comes from. But now being at a healthier size, healthier way of living, eating healthy and all that, I don't have any of those problems and I'm happier. People have told me I look younger and I'm cool with it. I'm not out of breath when I talk. I've been up here running my mouth for a whole hour plus, ain't been out of breath. And ultimately, I'm able to do work better. I'm going to live longer. I don't have sleep apnea. I don't toss and turn at night. When I get in and out of bed, I feel better. I'm not like, you know, having like back pain and all that. Getting up and off, getting on a toilet and getting off of it, I don't have any problems. When I go walking, my feet don't hurt. So my quality of life has improved. And even though my quality of life has improved, I am understanding that not everybody is ready to make the journey, or maybe some people have not been successful with weight loss and they're kind of like taking a break or in denial. And to me, I accept everybody because I understand, especially the fact that it's very difficult to start a weight loss journey, which is true body positivity, to be at a normal weight, because what works for me might not work for somebody else, because you may have a significant other who is a plus size like you are. You want to lose weight, they don't. Now they're a hindrance to your progress. Or maybe you have a demanding job, maybe you travel a lot and you can't do what I did. So you have to kind of create your own plan. And the first step is just acknowledging that there is a problem in order to solve it.
Woo, I love that. Okay, I love that. I'm gonna, on that note, woo, you guys, I've been here for 2.5 hours. I love shit. Yeah, good. My brain is tired. I'm like, my brain is tired. But I do thank you for sharing your journey. It was interesting dialogue between you and Joe. Thank you for coming up. And yeah, you're always welcome.
Okay, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up. Thank you guys. I wasn't kicking him off the panel. My brain just got tired for a second. I think that what you guys are talking about, I'm gonna say this, and I would love for you to come back for an actual panel and a discussion, because it went in a different direction, but nevertheless, you gave a lot of good insight. And I love to see people take their health that seriously and share that knowledge. I had no clue about how to figure out my own BMI. The last time I checked my BMI was at a gym, and that was a good year ago. So checking it now, I'm like, I told y'all I had some work to do. You know what I mean? So I just love it. And it's not about anything else besides what's best for me. And for me, I am at my best at a smaller weight. I'm just outside of my comfort zone right now.
Easy to shop for clothes.
When you're smaller?
Yeah. It's easy to shop for clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong now. I like my curves, y'all. I'm gonna stay a squishy girl. But I feel, but just for myself, I already have a lot of energy. But I am concerned about what I eat and how is that gonna affect my kids? What am I giving to my family? And that kind of stuff, because it's very real. And if something goes wrong, where there's a lot of preventable illnesses and diseases out there, I would do everything I can to stay healthy for as long as possible.
Yeah, I would encourage everybody to go to a senior living, like apartment or senior living facility, and look at those that are assisted living versus those that are active adult seniors. It's a world of difference, and it goes to building muscle, exercising daily, or at least 3 times a week, eating properly. When you get older and you're in your golden years, you can actually walk around and still enjoy life and travel and all that. Whereas if you've lived a life where you were obese, poor eating, lack of exercise, and all that, and you're assisted living, you may spend your golden years laying in bed while other people are taking care of you, including wiping you. So it's almost like you're taking care of yourself to pay dividends to the future.
Right. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you, Gino. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for supporting my channel and that kind of stuff. I appreciate that, Gino. Thank you. Darius says Spade is trying to explain the basics, and guess what? Getting in shape actually is pretty basic stuff. It is not disclaimer, because I'm gonna get it. No one is saying that all skinny people and small people are healthy. No one is saying that. All right, because you still got to do your blood work and make sure that you can be very small and very sick. But overall, taking care of your body, your health, maintaining a healthy weight, that's just basic stuff on, to maintain a good and healthy life.
But most of us haven't been raised to have this basic understanding of diet and nutrition. We just kind of just eat whatever our parents give us, similar to our finances. A lot of us learn what taxes is much later in life. Some people, when they get caught up with the IRS, and it's like, oh, this is basic information. It's common sense. It's not so common if we haven't been taught these common sense ideas since we were a kid. Then you have to play catch up. You're going back in time to learn what you should have learned when you was 5, 6, 7 years old. So that's even myself. Like I said, it's the dietary habits that you have, and those are hard to break. Even though it's basic, that doesn't necessarily mean it's very difficult, because we get addicted to things that is designed to make us addicted. The sugar, the processed fats, the processed foods that Spade mentioned. So these are all things that we can logically, and we can think, okay, I know what I'm eating is bad for me, but I can't stop nibbling on these chips. I can't stop eating this gallon of ice cream, because it's designed to make you continue to do so. And when that's all we've known for so long, you're going about face to do the opposite of that. And some people, unfortunately, can't make that mental transition from the habits that they have and creating new habits, because creating a new habit is very painful to do. Even as basic as something that's just stop eating this and just eat more of this. Yeah, okay, I got it. In my head, I got it. Then you go and do it. You might last about a few days, a week, maybe 2, but very few people can go the distance and make it to where it becomes a permanent habit, in the same way that our bad habits became permanent habits since our youth.
You're right. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. And and as a mom, it matters a lot what I'm feeding my child, what my child is going to grow up and eat. And I think a lot of it does start. This is another conversation for another day. I ain't try to go down this road, but a lot of it starts with women and what we're feeding our families, if we are moms or if we're single moms, because our kids can't go out and choose their own food options, So it is important to educate ourselves. I try to lead by example with my son. Now, my son is only 11 years old. All right. He's not trying to hear me talk about food, but I hope that when he gets older, because our palate changes based on what we're given. Right. So I'm careful about the salt I use in my food, all that stuff. Because, I want my son to grow up my daughter's already big. She can cook for herself, but to grow up to be very healthy. What am I feeding my dude, my ninja? Like, I can't just be feeding him any old thing, because I want him to live for a long time. All right. And guys already die sooner than women according to statistics. So I'm just saying that's what they say. Now I don't know, but we have to be able to feed our households, and yeah.
It's a big
No,
responsibility.
I saw somebody talk about chitlins earlier. I gotta tell you something. I do love chitlins. Okay,
You do?
but I love chitlins.
My goodness.
I'm thinking of, but I eat primarily a fish and vegetarian diet, right? But I have to say, when I go home to Wisconsin, my mom, if she makes a pot, I'm gonna eat it. Thank you, Gino. I appreciate you. I'm gonna eat it, yeah. But that's just my thing. And it's I'm not perfect by any means. I have weakness, sweet tea, and yeah. But I live in California. I probably don't even eat chitlins once a year. Probably like once every 3 years or so. My mom makes it.
Yeah,
I'm like
Joe,
you're
we should
reminiscing about it now. That's funny. I can see your eyes kind of darting like, chitlins.
You want to know what else it is about? And I'm sure you guys can relate. The comfort food you think about where, like for me, back home, my mom would make it, and I love it. With some hot sauce and some seasoning salt, it's some good stuff. But will I eat that every day? Absolutely not. And it's only a treat. My mom doesn't cook right there all the time. My mom usually make like seafood, crab legs, stuff like that. We eat like catfish, stuff like that back home. But every now and again, it's not gonna hurt me. I doubt it.
Yeah, Joe, what you described was food addiction, where someone's like, I want to stop eating something, or I shouldn't eat it, but I have to have it. It's an addiction. And sugar is the most addictive thing that we have as a society.
Sugar
And
is the most addictive thing.
it
And I
is.
didn't mean to cut you off, but I was trying to make a video about that, and I started thinking about the information I found out from sugar. It's extremely addicting, and
Mhm.
yes, Joe touched on it earlier when he said we can't stop. The food in the United States, our diet consists of fatty foods, salty foods, and foods that's high in sugar, and it is designed to be addictive to make us want more. It's $1 billion industry, and it's not just the nutritional value. No, you have food flavoring now. You have, it's like flavor enhancers and all of that to make it seem like the real thing, but it's just to trigger our taste buds and to make that flavor come, and then that flavor goes away right away, and we want more of it. It's an intense sensation designed to make us feel good and all that stuff.
And
Yeah,
boy,
pleasure seeking.
it feels incredible.
There's a
And then
lot
it makes you
to
feel
it.
like shit afterwards. That's the
You feel
dichotomy of it.
better.
You feel
Yeah,
incredible eating it.
Yeah, it's like when I don't eat well, right, and I'm getting ready, I have to eat a certain way so I can work out and do all the stuff that I want to do. But if I eat like crap, yeah, it's gonna feel good just for that moment, and then I'm gonna crash, and I'm gonna want more again. So I just choose to avoid it.
That's the cycle right there. That's the cycle. You get the dopamine rush from eating like sugary stuff like Pop-Tarts, cereal, and other stuff. And then, like you said, when the dopamine rush is over with, now you feel bad, and now it kind of encourages you to want to eat more and stay on the hamster wheel. And that's kind of like what food addiction is you're getting addicted or hooked on feeling good. When you don't eat it, you feel bad. And now you're eating while you're watching a movie, eating while you're watching a television show, eating while you're watching one of Misunderstood's YouTube streams, eating because you feel sad, eating because it's somebody's birthday, eating because it's late night, you want a late night snack, and you're eating and eating and eating, and next thing you know, you gain weight. And it's not even good fat, it's bad fat, which is toxic, and it's a ticking time bomb inside your body.
That's right. And I was just thinking about, because I'm on the road a lot, you guys, I'm driving a lot, and one of my comforts is eating while driving. Maybe if I wasn't eating while driving, I wouldn't have got into that fender bender the other day. But maybe I would have hit the brake instead of hitting the car in front of me. But
Possible.
It is possible. I got so involved. What the hell was I eating? I don't remember. Something stupid. But anyways, I just mean that it is comfortable. Like, I drive for hours at a time, and so I like to eat stuff, and that is part of an addiction. I never even thought about that.
It is. It's just like I don't want to say any illegal drugs because I don't want to like, get you demonetized, but basically the same way you detox from drugs, including the pharmaceutical ones, is the same way you detox from food. And with the body positivity movement, there's a lot of influencers who are all sizes. They're encouraging people to overeat and encouraging food addiction with the mukbangs. You see, they have all this food,
I like
all this.
mukbang, but go ahead.
I mean, a mukbang is good, but it just promotes wanting to eat excessively because all the mukbangs I've seen, it just seems like they're stuffing their face and talking. And it's just like a lot of people, while they're watching a mukbang, they're eating too. Well, if you watch 5 mukbangs in a row and you're eating and eating and eating, next thing you know, you gain weight. And then you have your heartburn, upset stomach, got a whole bunch of health issues. But if you're embracing body positivity, you're like, well, I've gained weight, but it's okay because it's Christmas time, it's the holidays, I've gained weight, I'll walk it off. And when it comes to the idea of, let's say, walking off food, you have to walk miles just to walk off like 300 calories.
Yeah.
So it's better just to avoid, and I don't know, it's a lot that can be said about body positivity. And I think it started off well for, like, let's say, young girls to avoid them feeling negative about their bodies. But I think it's turned into escapism and making excuses and even being delusional about one's health. Because when you first meet someone, the first thing you notice is their face. So if their face is all puffy, you know they got a problem. If their eyes are discolored, you know they got a problem.
Yeah.
Well, the size of their body and their like gut protruding out from their skirt, protruding out from their dress or their shirt, like we as men do with beer guts, you can just look at that person and tell they got a problem. But usually the problem is not really overeating. The problem is they have some type of stress, depression, some type of unresolved trauma that they're using food to cope with. And when it comes to a lot of body positivity influencers, they kind of help someone have that escapism and that learned helplessness, accepted powerlessness through food. So now you got this whole foodie community. You got the foodie calls, people wanting to go on dates just to eat. Everybody's eating, and no one's really talking about the downside and negatives to all this eating, and that is overeating, which has a lot of young people. There's people who are adolescents, teenagers, even young adults. Back when I was coming up in like the 80s and 90s, your average 15-year-old was thin, athletic, played outside and all that. But now the average 15-year-old sits around and plays video games, has 5 meals a day, snacks uncontrollably, doesn't really get much exercise in, and has diabetes by age 21.
That's
You're right. Hey, Antonio, I'm sorry I didn't speak to you earlier. You're absolutely right. And that's a lot to think about. I'm definitely, I appreciate you both for the conversation. That's, and I'm going to be, so the food thing, you guys, feel free to come back. I'm going to stay on it for a while because there's a lot of things. It doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about other stuff. All right. I'm not
Right.
on it, but I have to revisit it because there's so many things that go to it. With culture, the culture, who's the most obese? I keep talking about it. Why are Black people, and whites can join the conversation, but try lightly. But when you look at the statistics, Blacks are leading in obesity, whether we like it or not. It may not sound pretty, but it's not pretty with the statistics either. And is it because our standards of beauty are different, or is it because what's available to us to eat, or how far back can we go? I'm not sure. So those are conversations that I would like to have in Black women. What we are, according to the statistics, heavier than the men, and we're the ones that's feeding the men in our families. So you guys kind of understand where I'm going with all of this. And again, I got messages. I turned my phone off because the messages and y'all emails are not nice right now. And I get that. How am I about this stuff, not being a bigger woman? But for me, it's how addicting food can be. And
Right.
just because I'm not an overweight woman, it does not mean that I don't have an interest in it, because I do.
Right. Yeah,
Because you
there's a
care.
lot of. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying because she care.
I care
Just
very
because
much.
you don't have the issue, it's like just because I'm not homeless doesn't mean I can't talk about a homeless issue. Just because I'm not involved in the war doesn't mean I can't talk about violence and death. It's you because you care. So it's not a bad thing.
God, mama said all those things. I care very much so, and y'all know I always turn it back to addiction. One of the things is how addicting food is. I have, for me, to have a basic understanding of what's healthy and all that kind of stuff, I don't feel that I would be here, considering that I had a really bad habit and I still was able to come out of it. And I do know that a lot of it had to do with my food choices and decisions to exercise and stuff like that. Even though I had a very bad habit and stuff like that, I still was able to understand that a lot had to do with what I ate. And I'm coming out of it saying, hey, you know what? I cannot trade. I'm finding comfort in eating all this great stuff, but somebody who is prone to addiction and have an and this is a different subject, I know, that has an addictive personality, I cannot now look to food to be my comfort. So I had to be interested in it. And then I noticed that, wait a minute, all these people that's talking about my drug addiction, but they can't stop picking up those potato chips, we gonna talk about it. Because if that drug will kill me, and a potato chip, if I eat too many of them with this greasy, it's addicting, right? And that's why some people cannot stop eating, and they don't realize that that in itself is an addiction. So I'm not taking one addiction to another. But if you want me to say that there are no comparisons, that there are no similarities, I mean, then you're wrong. There's similarities. And then I wonder, why do you stop using drugs and you gain all this weight? At first, I thought it was because we eat. We start eating normally again. No, it's because food is addicting. And if you have an addictive personality type and you're looking for comfort, or it could be just what we were taught, then you can become addicted to food. That's it. That's all. And that's not anything. There's nothing wrong with me saying that. But a lot of people judge me and my addiction as they're carrying their own addictions.
Right. Exactly. And sometimes people will go into denial by, instead of working on their own demons, they point out yours.
And the reason why it's easy, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's easy for us to do that, because I was looking at, why do we hate each other? Why do we judge other people? Women, why can we be, and this isn't for guys, but catty with each other? Or why do people, I noticed that the people that are angry, the angriest with me, are the ones with their own addictions and problems. And I realized that it's because it's easier to point it out in me, or it's easier for a person to point out your flaws, and then they don't have to look at their own. They're busy telling you what you need to do, but they can't stand it. They can't face their own, and they sometimes don't even see it in themselves. But you're bothering them so much as they're carrying the same problems and the same issues, but you're that deflection that they could focus on.
Yeah. I think the reason why a lot of fights and animosity is online and in relationships and on panels and stuff is because people are eating bad food. Bad food can give you a bad attitude and a bad outlook on life. And having, let's say a drug addiction, that can affect you as far as your day-to-day life, and it can affect your appearance. But overeating and being overweight, obese, having a food addiction, people can look at you and tell that they can instantly look at you and tell you big. And that eats a lot of people up inside, especially the fact that they would like to take pictures, but they avoid a lot of picture taking because they don't like their appearance, or they would like to get along with others. They don't know why. It's because the chemicals in the food. There's hormones in the chicken. When it comes to healthy, good food, it's best to go with free-range chicken, grass-fed beef. When you walk into a grocery store, it's kind of like a U shape where you start off with produce, then you go around to the poultry area. The good poultry is grass-fed beef, free-range chicken. Then you go back to the dairy if people are into dairy. I'm not into that because I'm vegan. But that U is where everything is healthy and safe. For most people, they go and they eat stuff in cans and jars, packages, wrappers, including stuff in the bakery. And all that stuff is processed food, including the TV dinners, no offense, Joe. And that stuff has chemicals in it, including hormones, including it being created by genetically modified organisms, GMOs. That stuff affects your mood. It affects your personality. It can actually make you mean and hateful. And it's even worse if you grew up in the hood or the ghetto where the government orchestrated food deserts. The same way they put drugs and guns in the black neighborhood, they also created food deserts, greenlining, where they only wanted convenience stores to be there. But what's in a convenience store, a bodega, with the Asian people sell, the Arabs and all that other people, not putting them down or anything, but most of the food that's sold in black and brown neighborhoods is junk food. So they used to call it junk food. Then they moved it to being convenience food. Now they call it comfort food, which is partnered with this body positivity movement. And all it does is it feeds the pockets of people who are rich. It feeds the pockets of the medical industry complex, the lawyers, the pharmaceutical companies, also other organizations, including hospitals, that they're making a whole bunch of money off of people being sick from all this bad food. And all we can do is fight each other versus fighting obesity and the negativity aspect of the body positivity movement.
That was so loaded. And what's important for you guys to realize is that the food they're selling in these neighborhoods are not the ones that they're feeding their families.
Exactly.
And there's a lot to be said for that.
You think the Chinese people are eating their own Chinese food? I don't know. They're like, y'all like this shit?
It's the same. That's right, Joe. Go ahead. It's not the same.
Right.
No.
I think they're eating a healthier version of it that they make for themselves. Because I do see people who are Asian eating the food, but I believe they make a healthier version for themselves because I don't know if y'all have ever been to or outside the US, but when you go to, like, let's say McDonald's outside the US, they actually have healthier options for international customers as opposed to United States customers. So when you go to a restaurant in Asia, let's say you go to China and you eat their rice is completely different than what they make in the US. In the US, they make fried rice with soy sauce, which has a lot of fructose corn syrup, duck sauce, fructose corn syrup. But the sauces that they use in their own country doesn't have any of the additives, doesn't have any of the chemicals and negative stuff that's sold in the US. Even the cereal companies, when they sell cereal internationally, talking about Kellogg's and all that, the Canadian version and the Europe version of cereal is actually good for you. It's not made with white sugar and a bunch of chemicals. It's actually made with like good flour, and it's actually healthy where you can eat it and not feel bad throughout the day. So it's really a Western problem when it comes to all this bad food. And I honestly believe, conspiracy theory, that a lot of the food industry companies, they're actually paying influencers to push body positivity movement to encourage people to continue to eat bad food. And the people who are also making money now from body positivity, or people who have they want to change their body and feel positive about it, but they don't want to do the work as far as dieting and exercising. Now they're pushing Ozempic and Wegovy. And that's a whole animal right there.
Yes. Okay, y'all. I have a confession to make. Okay.
Uh-oh. The beef sector is gonna hear you. So
I know. Let me read this before I get to my confession. The queen, hey sis, the food tastes so good. Healthy food is so expensive, but it's worth it for its health. And that is a loaded statement, the queen. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, part of the addiction is that we pretty much consume and choose food based off our senses. So it looks good, it tastes good, it smells good, which is your senses, and that plays into making you addicted to it.
Okay, you guys, about the Ozempic, and no, they do not eat the same food. I know my child's father, when he used to live in Japan, the food is delicious. You think that's the stuff that they're no, it's one of the first things he talked about was the difference. He lived there for a couple of years. So there's a reason why. And it's not, some of it's genetics, they're smaller frame, we can say that, but no, it's a healthier diet, it's a fresher diet. And
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this. So I kept hearing about this Ozempic, right? And I'm like, wow, this is great. All I need to lose is like 20 pounds. That's my goal, is to lose 15 to 20 pounds. But when I went to the doctor to get it, that mother sucker said no. Okay. So you have to be, he would not give it to me. I had to have an illness and I had to be over, I can't remember how much weight I needed to lose, but he just said no, absolutely not. And I just thought it was interesting because a lot of people—
He saved your life. He saved your life. That stuff causes stomach paralysis.
Really?
Yes, and when it makes it affordable with the coupons or whatever. But eventually, you got to come off Ozempic. And let's say you take Ozempic or Wegovy, which is stronger dosage than the stuff on Ozempic. When you come off of it, you gain the weight right back, and you have a bunch of health illnesses. So a lot of diabetic people, the doctors will try to prescribe something different for their diabetes. Everybody wants Ozempic and Wegovy and other stuff because it keeps you from being hungry, which in turn will help you lose weight. But but the stomach paralysis means that you want to eat, or you should eat, but you can't digest. So then what ends up happening is the body starts eating itself. It'll eat muscle tissue, it'll eat skin, and you're worse off than you would be without using it. And plus you gain the weight back once you come off of it. Your doctor saved your life.
Okay. Yes.
He saved your life.
Absolutely not. I couldn't get it. And I wish I could remember off the top of my head what the criteria were, but I couldn't get it. And so that is good to know. Harlem, y'all know I'm going to take the time to read this. MU is always winning because she is not a loser and she is a winner for life. Thank you, Harlem Street. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. The Queen says she wants to grow her own vegetables. That is the healthiest way to go. I would like to as well. When I move again, I need a garden. But growing your own food and knowing what's in it, you guys. And I'm so glad that thank y'all for the knowledge, because I learned a lot from Joe. I learned a lot from, you changed your name, Spade. And you did change your name. You changed your name, okay. No. But okay, so somebody put in a comment about the expense of the food. Let me tell you something. It is more expensive to eat healthier, but in the long run, it's gonna save you money because you're gonna. It's just, there's ways to cut the cost, and I do wish that it wasn't as expensive. Like when I'm gonna go buy some salmon, right? I love salmon. I can eat it almost every day. That salmon is gonna cost me about $9. I will have it for about 2 days because I couldn't have it, eat it. Well, not 2 days. I'm sorry, 2 meals. And I'll have my asparagus. My asparagus is probably gonna run me, I don't know what, like $6 or so, and that's my meal.
The way I looked at it was when, I'm sorry, Joe, you're trying to say something? I apologize.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
The way I looked at it was when I was 400 pounds, I ate, not 400, I'm sorry. When I was like 365 pounds, I ate like someone at 365 pounds. So when I started eating less and weighing less, I spent less money and was able to afford better food. And that's kind of how one should look at it, in that you don't have to lose weight if you don't want to. But if you want to eat healthier, you can spend the same money that you normally spend, just eat less of the better food, and you'll spend less money, and you'll even have maybe a weight loss as a byproduct of that. So people who are smaller and eat less and weigh less, they usually spend less money, and that should be one of many motivators, including the health benefits of wanting to eat fresher food. Because eventually, if you do eat junk food, processed food, day in, day out, you'll end up in someone's ER. Or you could end up being paralyzed on half your side, a stroke or whatever, or a whole bunch of other health issues. And now you have no choice but to eat healthy. And by that time, it's too late. It's people right now in wheelchairs for the rest of their life because they made bad decisions as far as food intake. And when it comes to body positivity, you got to learn to eat to live, not live to eat.
That's a great concept. And I'm telling you guys, this whole thing with the flavors and they're wanting to overwhelm our taste buds. If you Google it, let me learn how to share some slides. I will show y'all some slides and stuff. I don't know how to do that shit though. But I would show you guys that there's a science behind wanting you to have more. There's a science behind the cravings and all of that, and feeling full at first only to be hungry an hour later. There's a reason why that's happening, and it's not just in your head. It's not because the food, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason, because you should eat and feel full, right? A healthy food.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to that, and I'm just trying to share some stuff now. Spade, I usually remember the first name. Y'all tell me. Okay, Spade talks about his weight loss journey and stuff like that. So he's telling you guys what has worked for him. I'm telling you what has worked for me. The natural eating, trying not to eat things out of packaging. Even though I say that, I'm gonna eat this shit right now. I am.
That's funny.
I was told. So I keep looking at it because I'm trying not to eat on camera, but I'm hungry. But now I was told. I don't know if y'all agree or disagree. Wait, let me highlight myself. But I was told that this thing is healthy. Okay, and the ingredients of this, number one, is 70 calories and it has 17 grams of protein. But when I look at the ingredients, I look at everything. So light tuna, I don't get it in oil. I get it with water. It has vegetable broth, salt, which I wish I knew how much salt, but I don't. And it has tuna, so I can recognize all the ingredients, and that's what I look for, but I know there's more to it. But I don't want anything that has dye or stuff like that, so I am going to eat this. And
Yeah, that's great.
Is it
That's
bad?
great.
Or no? What do you guys think?
I think the only thing that some people, if they were nitpicking, they would argue is bad about it, and I'm sure Spade would agree, is the packaging, is what the food is packaged in, which is something we can't escape. You can't escape the plastic that they put on the hamburger on top, that we look at the red color, oh, that looks good. And we know that BPA and stuff like that can affect us, and it does to an extent. But we literally can't escape it unless we go and herd our own cows, fish our own salmon, deal with our own chickens, grow our own garden. We are not going to be able to escape the things that come in an aluminum can or that particular packaging or any plastic wrapping. I personally believe it's negligible, but some people will argue it's a massive, serious issue. And they say it affects our hormones, but I look at the fact that really there's nothing we can do about it unless we start doing the food, like getting food ourselves, procuring it for ourselves like we used to. I'm talking about going back into the agrarian age, which none of us are going to do because none of us are equipped to do so. We're not going to be able to escape something as pervasive as the packaging in which our food come in, regardless of how healthy it is. So me personally, I eat stuff like that myself. I just had a can of tuna. It's aluminum, hey, I'm not tuna, but oysters. But I've been doing it long enough to where it's like, okay, I can feel the benefits of the oysters, and hopefully it cancels out whatever negative aspects that come with the can. That's my thinking, because there's nothing else I can do about that. Maybe I get some fresh oysters, crack it. That's a pain in the ass sometimes. You don't feel like doing all that. So also you sacrifice knowing, okay, I'm going to get it as fresh as possible, but I want convenience because we have busy lives, we have jobs, we have families, and it's not always convenient to go out fishing for your own fish or cracking open your own oysters or killing your own cow to eat it and cutting it, things like that. Even growing your own garden is very time consuming. So yeah, I like what you got right there. That's a great snack.
Thank you. And hey, King, good to see you, King. How you doing? So my thing is, and yes, it does get that deep, Joe. I try it does, but those people that nitpick like that, I'm like, come on, y'all. What are y'all really eating? Okay, what are you doing all day? My concern with it is how long anything that's on a shelf for a long time, how is it staying that fresh on a shelf? So I know it's not my best food option. However, it is my go-to food option when I need a quick snack, because there are a lot of worse choices and I go for the protein. But my thing is, when it's not healthy, I'm thinking about its life shelf and that kind of stuff. I don't know how the hell this tuna stay on the shelf so long without
preservatives. Yeah,
Preservative. Okay,
yeah,
you got it.
preservatives in the food is what keeps it fresh. So, in my opinion,
So you don't suggest this tuna packet?
well, so for me, I would say go to a doctor and get your blood work checked, and then your blood pressure checked. If you don't have any problems under the hood of the car, and you want to eat whatever, if all of your levels are normal or low, then you should be fine. What makes something good or bad for the individual is what's going on in your body. So if you already are hypertension stage 2, like I was, that packet of tuna would be negative for me if I'm trying to turn my levels around and lower my sodium, lower my blood pressure, lower my go to be pre-diabetic as far as the sugar in the blood. Now, if somebody has a high amount of cholesterol and they don't care, then they just, it's whatever. So to me, that's what determines a food choice is when in the vein of body positivity, what's going on inside of your body. So once you know where you are at as far as what's in your body from getting your blood work checked, getting blood pressure checked and all that, then it comes to not can I eat this if it's good or bad, but is it good or bad for me as far as what I'm trying to do with my life? Okay. So I mean, if someone comes to me and like, hey, I want to eat fast food, I want to eat tuna in a can or in a package, what do you think? I'd be like, well, get your blood pressure checked. If your levels are normal or lower than normal, then you should be good. If they're not, if you're elevated and you want to make a change, then you can eat less of something bad and have a caloric deficit, and your body will clean that stuff out of your system, and then you'll be fine. So I'm not a medical doctor or a nutritionist. It's just everybody's individually different. I think when it comes to body positivity, people have to just understand where they're at as far as what's under the hood of their body or their car rather, and make a choice. As long as you make an informed choice, you should be fine.
You're right. So I did have those levels checked and everything is normal and
hey, then have at it.
Yeah, my biggest scare was when I was anemic, which I'm surprised because I eat a lot of stuff like this, but everybody has something, but so I will have this until I make my salmon, you guys. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll just make my salmon.
So
yeah, do it.
I don't know. A lot of people are going to be squeamish about this, but for women, for obvious reasons, they need more iron than men, for obvious reasons, and so they're more prone to get it. Beef liver solves that immediately.
They did tell me to eat liver when I had anemia. I thought, and a lot of my chat did. I tried my best to sit in front of that big chunk of liver. It was not happening. But the problem is solved. The problem is solved. It was solved with vitamins. It's I can't, but I know that liver is supposed to be good for you. My family smothered liver, and I'm like, well, why do you gotta smother the damn thing? It's already bad enough to eat the liver, but
have you tried it? So I can't eat liver either the way that you just spoke of it. I've never liked it. No matter how you prepare it, some people put it like they smother it in milk to try to get rid of the flavor. Cooking it actually makes it very repulsive. So a lot of people don't even think to try it raw. Raw is the only way I can eat it. And raw, it's something interesting. That anemia, because I had the same issue. I would be chilly when it's 80 degrees outside. I'm like, what the hell is this? I get when it's wintertime, like, okay, but why do I feel cold and feel like I need to bundle up when it's summer outside? A few ounces of raw liver, it solves that.
I could see it raw better, but I don't know. I started thinking about lingua, tongue. I started, no, you know what? Just leave me with my fish. Fish, I don't want it. My salmon costs about $4.50 per serving. That's cheap, something around there. It is cheap to buy a chunk of salmon, or I like catfish, which occasionally, I put that right in the oven, season it up. I like fish. I try to make fish. Ahi tuna is another favorite after salmon, so I try to eat stuff like that. I'm careful about the mercury in the fish though. So fish that's high in mercury, I'm probably not going to eat anything else.
I think all fish is high in mercury. I think that's that is also one of those little nitpick things that people focus on. They scare people out of eating fish, but fish has always had elements of mercury. So when we think of mercury, we think of that metal poisonous stuff. You know, when we're kids, you know, the thermometer and oh, you don't want to get that stuff on your body. And in fact, they think that's the kind of mercury that they're thinking about when they think about, oh, there's mercury in fish. And so you create this fear around consuming fish because they do in fact have mercury in it, but it also has a lot of the other elements of the earth within the fish as well. Boron, magnesium, potassium, all of these different things that we don't demonize as demonic elements within the fish itself that's supposed to be there. And I would know because I eat fish raw as well. I eat a lot of it raw, and I've never ever been sick or poisoned, as far as I know, from eating it over the last 3 years in that state, in its most natural state, which is completely raw. So
I
I think
love
it'd be
raw
fine with it.
fish, and you're right. If you're pregnant, you have to worry about the mercury levels in fish. But do I worry about it too much? Not, but because I don't really eat like swordfish and other fish that's higher in mercury. Not because I don't like it, but for me to make it, it's just easier for me. Yeah, if I was at a restaurant or something like that, or you know what else is a good fish? What is it? Darn it, it's an expensive fish to get at restaurants. Darn it, come on, you guys, y'all know the fish. It's kind of pricey. Well, for me, okay, so I went to this restaurant. This fish was $40. Oh, what was it?
It's better be some good fish.
It was delicious. It was a white flaky fish. Okay, I can't think of it.
Not tilapia. It better not be tilapia.
No, it was
codfish.
It wasn't cod. It was I don't have my
Oh,
phone by
cod
me.
has to be cod too.
It was it's at the Sill, not saw. It was I can't think of it. But anyways, that damn fish was delicious. Now I want to let me get my damn phone. You guys are
$40. It better be delicious.
It was great.
That better be the best fish ever. Yeah, $40 for just the fish, and then I'm sure you had sides and stuff to go with it. The meal probably was like, you know, north of $60.
Okay, you guys are gonna know this damn fish.
And you're talking about just for the fish, not the entire meal, right?
Well, these restaurants, you buy it doesn't come like you buy the sides separate. And so I don't usually order the vegetables because they drown it. They put butter in it, even if they say it doesn't have butter. It's not just the vegetables. So I don't like my vegetables made with anything but olive oil. So let me see.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't like them. I just like
I can't eat it without butter.
as simple as possible. Okay, let's see.
Now, are you against butter? Are you against butter itself, or you just don't like it on your vegetables?
Chilean sea bass is what I'm talking about. No, I just like the taste of vegetables just without. I don't have a problem with butter. I use butter, but for vegetables and stuff like that, I just don't feel like you need it. Just like some people use butter for salmon, I think that salmon's already buttery. I don't use stuff like that.
I agree.
Olive oil, seasonings, or stuff like that. If you saute it, what do you use? Olive oil. But yeah, I just don't. I don't like. And if you're in a nicer restaurant, I ask them to hold the butter or not to make it that way, and that's fine. But just give me the fish. I'm good. Give me a salad. I'm good. I don't need all the extra stuff. Chilean sea bass. Even right now, I'm looking at it. It's $31.48. But so in a restaurant, it being $40, that's about normal. But it's delicious.
$40 for this is about normal. That's almost twice as much as I would pay at a similar restaurant for tuna or salmon. So you're saying this fish must be really? I never tried it.
You never tried Chilean sea bass?
I've heard about it.
It's really good. Yeah, but it is a little pricier. But wait, oh shoot. I don't know why though. Wait, let me show y'all. Let me toggle myself. Have you ever had it? So I don't know if you eat fish, but
yeah, I have in Vegas.
I just lost my picture of it.
Do you feel like it's worth $40 a plate, David, or spade? I don't know why I keep calling it.
Really, what you're paying for is the establishment, not necessarily the entree.
Can y'all see it?
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
It's delicious.
Yeah, usually if the restaurant is kind of upscale, it'll be pricey like that.
No place. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's because I'm sure you can get it much cheaper somewhere else. But where I like to go at this little English place, it's like an
Right.
English style restaurant. It's gonna cost you $40.
Yeah, it's the you paying for the atmosphere, the waiter or waitress. They're going to be more presentable, more knowledgeable. They can make it different ways for you. You can say, hey, can you have it without salt, or can you do this and do that with it?
And they're
But
gonna do
really,
it to order. Yeah.
yeah, really, it's just the atmosphere. Whenever I go to places like that, it's just the atmosphere that I know I'm paying for, and the fact that they have reservations. They got a large wine menu.
And they have a
And
band. Well, not a band,
yeah,
but
live band. Yeah,
like a piano bar.
yeah,
It's worth
yeah,
it.
yeah. It is. Unless you want to. I mean, they do have cheaper places that have the same, food, but it's going to be more
A
rowdy and ruckus.
little
People
mom and
may
pop
be
shop.
in there listening to hip hop twerking and stuff, and that can kind of kill the mood if you're trying to be romantic.
Dance, y'all. Thank you, Gino, for the cash app. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Playing twerking music while you're eating Chilean sea bass in the background.
Yeah.
You want it for $10? Well, okay, you'll get $10
Right.
service and $10 music and $10 everything. Everything's gonna be about $10.
You get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for, and sometimes you just gotta treat yourself. And I know that we spoke about a lot. I'm gonna give y'all the final thought, and but I have to tell you, I'm not gonna have a kumbaya moment, but I love, bro. Okay, wait. I love the dialogue between you two. You both had some really great. What am I trying to say? My brain is tired. You both made really great. You made really great points, and you both come from a different perspective, but very relevant. And I really appreciate you guys sharing your knowledge and experience. 504 girl, thank you so much for sharing as well, because she was speaking about the body positivity movement for her. She's about body positivity. She said that she's a plus size, a BBW woman, and she's proud of it. And I totally agree with her. And I'm on the other side, where I feel that it started out as a good positive movement and it turned into, is it body positivity or is it promoting toxic behavior? All right, because these influencers, some of them, not all, have taken it to a different level. And if you look at the clip I showed in the beginning, that's more of what I'm talking about. All right, so that's it. But I'm going to give you guys the final thought, and that was my final thought.
I guess I'll go ahead and go. I know the body positivity is turned into body diversity, body acceptance. And I think overall it's just made to make people or have people feel good about what they're working with, and not feel bad when compared to most of the social media influencers who are successful. They are normal weight, unless they are plus size. But the only way that they're going to be successful as plus size is if they're promoting food, or they're basically using their body, you know what I'm saying? And people are celebrating them being big, which I think is an injustice, since you should be loved and have a following because you're interesting, not because you're plus size. So to me, I think the body positivity movement was a thing during the pandemic, and now people are kind of using it as a shield when adding health benefits of being a normal weight, adding being healthy, living a better lifestyle, and ultimately feeling positive about your body to where you'll love it enough to where you'll want to look better, feel better, and be a better you, which in my opinion, it's having a normal weight, but everybody has their day when they have to go to the ER one day, and then they pretty much get a red pill moment. But thank you, Misunderstood, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thoroughly enjoyed you.
Yeah, he's very good. He's so we definitely, myself and Spade, we have different diets, but we kind of like converge, in which the information is just about the same. Some people thrive on vegan diets. I'm mostly carnivore, mostly, not completely. Still enjoy my fruits. Don't really care for vegetables. I never did. But he eats a lot more vegetables. He doesn't eat meat or any animal byproducts, and it's working for him. So you kind of have to do a lot of experimentation to see what works for you. And there's going to be some trial and error involved in animal products, things that we're not accustomed to eating and consuming. You just kind of taste it, and on the packaging it tells you not to eat eggs raw, and you say, I shouldn't be doing this, and you squirmish about it because it's a mental battle. You do it, and it's like Rocky style. It's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then you get used to doing it that way, and then you start enjoying it more because you don't have to cook as much, and you stay lean easier, faster. It satiates you. It's more about the nutrients in the foods, in my opinion, than it is about the calories in the foods. Because you can eat a lot of heavily dense, nutritious foods, then so you don't have to eat as much, and that's how you can get down to consuming a lot less calories or feeling like you need to do so, because your body is seeking more calories because it's actually seeking more nutrients. So you get the nutrients, then you naturally don't have to look for the calories. You don't have to monitor it at all. It just naturally, oh, I feel good. I ate this. I'm done. In regards to the body positivity movement, I can be much more abrasive in my thoughts about it, in my opinions about it. I think it's a bunch of BS. It's kind of like a grown man, because let's be honest, the body positivity movement is mostly catered to women. Of course, some men engage in it, but it's really a kind of a woman deal. I'm accepting my body for who I am because a lot of a woman's appearance and a lot of a woman's value in modern society is tied to their physical appearance. And so they're going to feel a lot more shame around their weight and their prospects and who they can attract and who they repulse, as opposed to a man. We can be much more, I don't care, I am the way I am. So with the movement, it's similar to like a man saying, a woman would laugh at a man for saying, I'm celebrating being broke. I'm celebrating being poor. I'm celebrating, like, you look at that person and say, I don't want no scrubs. You look at that person and say, can you pay my bills? Right? And we accept it, like, yeah, no, I shouldn't be broke. And even as men, we look at other men and say, nah, you can't be broke, bro. That's not the way to go. So for a woman to then switch it, when we say, nah, that's not the move, this body positive, nah, you can't, you can call yourself whatever you want, Lizzo. Yeah, you're talented, but no, that's not going to fly. All the money in the world, all the charisma, all the personality, it's not going to really get you what you really want. And if you do, you're still going to be very unhealthy. So it's not good for you. And society shuns it, and it's for a reason. It's a what is it, award? Like a participation award. People want the award for doing nothing. So they go and get the BBLs, they go and get the fake injections, fake this and fake that, and the Ozempic and all these other things because they want to avoid the actual hard work of doing the work on themselves in order to change. Because these things are temporary solutions. It won't last long. And if it does have any sort of lasting effect, it will always come back and bite you in the ass. So just like I wouldn't recommend a man get like TRT or steroids to enhance his masculine prowess and get more testosterone, he should do it the natural way. Actually get and start doing squats, start eating healthier. Your testosterone levels will naturally rise slowly over time. So too must the woman take time to take her big butt in the gym, do some push-ups, do some squats, stop eating certain foods, and have the mental fortitude to overcome those things. So you can lose the weight. You can also have the level of self-pride that comes as a result of losing that weight, the mental clarity that comes with it. Spade absolutely clearly has a lot of pride in the fact that he did it in a natural way. He didn't have to resort to any drugs or any sort of shortcuts to get to where he's at. So he can speak from a place of experience. But if he resorted to a drug, there's nothing he can tell us here. If he just say, hey guys, I was 365 pounds and I took a drug, Ozempic, and I lost 100 pounds. You can't assist no one else in that matter. You can just give your statement, and that'll be the end of the conversation in 5 minutes because he doesn't come from experience and how he overcame a certain hill in order to overcome it and look down and say, okay, I made it to the top. Let me help you get up there. Because the reality is that most people will not be able to afford these pills, these supplements, these injections, and all these different shortcuts for any prolonged period of time. So for the vast majority of people, they have to do it the natural way. So body positivity movement is actually a body negativity movement. And people just need to start being lazy and start doing the things they have to do to take care of themselves so they can live for themselves and for their family and for their children.
Thank you for your final thought. It was very loaded, and I appreciate you for coming up and for sharing. And I'm definitely gonna enjoy watching the replay on this. I normally don't rewatch my videos, but there's a lot of things that I need to catch. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Whew. You guys, I'm gonna say this. That was a lot, you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. And feel free to like, comment, and share. I know it was controversial, but really, really, if I did not care, if my guests didn't care, I don't believe I can hear the passion in their voice. You know, even Lima Soul was up here earlier talking about her weight loss journey and how she lost so much weight. She looks great. It's only love here. I'm just sharing some information with you guys, and I'm interested in your comments. So thank y'all for hanging out with me. I'm gonna get out of here. Feel free to like, comment, share. Thank you for the Gino for the cash ups, and I'll see y'all on the YouTube streets. And maybe I'll come back later to talk about some other stuff. I don't know, but thank you for hanging out with me. Okay, bye bye.